It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity.
DocWizard.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hi Doc. Hi chat. DocWizard. DocWizFlower.
Yo, Shadow Link, thank you for the sub for 22 months. Wald, what's happening? Thank you for the sub for 41 months. Appreciate that. Listen, don't know balls me into doing something. You know, damn straight I will do it. It just happens to be reset right now, so it's waiting for the server to actually restart. I try connecting, it's going to give me an error. Hello. So gear switch, mind switch. Have to completely go to a different character mindset right now. Let me give you a recap. Bailey. Last I left Bailey. Turner and Bailey talks. There has been a individual that has been a PPO that is likely getting fired. Not saying their name. Turner has some suspicion right now of some of the stuff that Nino has been saying. Bailey has a good relationship with Nino. Doesn't fully believe it quite right now, but wants to explore it. Suspicion being some of the laws and legislation that he was attempting to apparently put together, or in regards to charges that was security firm related, or the justification as to individuals not being charged with class 2s while robbing a bank truck, and saying that they are doing it for their own protection because they're getting rolled up on. Where else did I leave Bailey? I have to do a warrant class, writing a warrant class I was asked to do by the detective unit, so I have to develop that at some point. What else? God, I feel like both of them are just like, there's so much shit going on both characters right now. And some of them are coming together, which is kind of fucking odd that I don't want to have happen. That wasn't no balls? Well, guess what? Don't ask for something that you don't want. Yo, call me Kate with 2 E's. I always have to say it every single time, you know it. Thank you for the tier 2 for 24 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that.
about
Yeah, so
humanity.
I'll play it for a little bit. Yo, what up, Corey? What's happening? I'll play it for a bit. It's gonna probably be a slow day, is my guess on him. I'd imagine it's not gonna be too crazy. Then again, I say that, and every time I log on him, it's like, hey, I need this. Why? Oh, hold on. Why haven't I banned you yet is the better question. Snitching to
Why
the
did I talk to
gods
this
and
guy
changing
again?
your allegiance at all points in time, and you still stop here to call me old. But thank you for the tier 3 for 44 months. Thank you. What else? TJ stuff's been interesting. Some stuff here and there. I'm trying to get like some sides things going because of story wise. Some people have DM'd me saying that they feel like it's not going anywhere, so I'm trying to get some side stuff going. I can recap some of that stuff as well. So maybe some people will find some things I left for them. I gave a little bit of a hint today in my conversation with Dark about the watches and some of the things meaning different things as well. I don't think those people have found them yet, but there are a few things I have left for people in certain areas. Should they find them, well, then maybe we can expand upon them later. But we are working on it. Yo, Spanner! The other person that's allowed to call me old, and that has subbed for 42 months with the tier 3, because they have the old pass as well. Thank you, Spanner, for the tier 3. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Actually, AZ, you can't say anything because he's actually older than I am. That's crazy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know you'll never work. I know. Listen, AZ can call me old because he's my friend IRL, I know. But he's also older than I am. Yeah, I know you got the car. You can say whatever you want. Is that old? No. Old is a feeling, alright? It's a state of mind. I'll put it that way. So I do hope Medi is on Nino at some point. I do want to have a conversation with him and continue some of this. I have to do it in a way that doesn't like implicate some of the stuff that Turner has said to him, or that he's gotten it from Turner. I gotta think of a way to do that, because I also want to protect Turner's interests and not cause distrust there. Oh my god, it's Doc/Bailey. Hello. Yes, hello there. It's Silver Starling. Thank you for the gift, sir. Appreciate that. Come on there, elevator. Watch, I'm gonna fall through this elevator. I'm actually gonna fall through this elevator, and Bailey's going to die. Calling it right fucking now. You know what? I said I was gonna set up my other arc on Bailey now, if there is one for my other characters, so here it's gonna be. Bailey falls through the elevator shaft, which happens quite frequently, and dies, and then I'm permaing him. Right? Is that why everyone takes the stairs? Yes, because the elevator is buggy as shit at times, and it just kills you. Oh, actually, hold on. Theo, you wanna explain to the class what happened today, Theo? Now that she's here. You don't want to explain. I see how it is. Listen, let's just say I witnessed something. And what I witnessed, I'm not going to say. But it was enough for me to warrant potentially bringing out the E-loser emote. And that's all I'm going to say.
It's all about humanity.
I didn't say anything else. I didn't say what happened. I won't even show the photo. There is photo evidence. I did take it. This is how blackmailing works, in case you're not aware. In case you're not aware of how blackmailing works, I now have the evidence. Yeah. Man, Spanner, thank you for the gifted subs to Chelsea and Theo. I appreciate that, Spanner. Thank you. And the gifted subs to Tori. Koaritari, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, I'll give a little bit of a hint. I'll give a small hint, all right? And give just like a little preview as to maybe something that happened. Just maybe. Hey, chat, imagine this was a bike. Imagine I was riding a motorcycle. Ah, shit! And I died. That couldn't have happened, right? It didn't happen on the exact corner either. Yeah, watched in 4K, by the way. Watched in 4K. Literally caught in 4K.
It's all about humanity.
Span, I think it doesn't give a sub. The G fits. Thank you, thank you. The scam train is up to level 3. The scam train be scamming, you know? Oh, there's a hype chest. What's this hype chest? I don't know what the hell it just did. I have no idea what it just did, but you know what? Oh, I gotta sign in. Nope. Choo choo. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Let me kill the background music. We're good. Logan President Snow, Bailey, Morgan Freeman, KFC Colonel. Who the fuck is in my chair? And of course, whoever the fuck it is, it's gotta be a tinfoil hatter. What the fuck is that? Son, you lost there.
Am I lost? Sorry.
Good morning, folks.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
Hello, hello.
I don't think so. This is the LSPD, right?
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
hi there.
No, I think I'm in the right place.
You think you might be in the right building.
Hey, Monroe, what are you sitting there for?
I'm just somewhere to sit.
You might get up, Monroe. Just get up.
Something on the chair or something?
Oh, yes.
Just move. Okay, go pick a new chair, right?
What's
Go sit
happening?
somewhere. Monroe, just go sit somewhere else, okay? Thank you.
Like
Thank
here?
you.
That's
Anywhere
perfectly
but where
fine.
you were.
Yes. And what's the name there, son?
My name's Derek. What's your name?
Derek.
Yes, sir. Derek,
People
Derek
call me
Monroe.
Bailey around here. Mr. Monroe.
Billy
Here.
Big Balls.
The hell did you just say?
You know, Billy Big Balls. You got some big old balls on you. Big old testicles.
Bailey, not Billy.
Oh, Bailey. I thought you said Billy. Oh.
Morning, everybody.
Son, you've been around long.
Yep.
morning.
7-8 years.
7 to 8 years.
Yeah. You?
Oh
Longer.
no.
Oh my God.
Look who it is.
What's your
You here
last
to make
name?
a
Bailey?
civilian arrest today?
Well, I didn't make any arrest. I just, made a complaint to one of the officers that they illegally parked.
Mm.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Um,
I'll put it in street terms. He's a snitch.
yeah, I am.
Okay, there we go.
Thanks,
A cop was illegally parked, and I did what I can do
John Peel?
as as a
Yes,
law-abiding citizen.
God.
I reported it,
All right.
because I feel like cops should be held to the highest of
Angels
standards when
kiss.
it comes to the law.
Thank you for the gift subs as well. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Same with government.
Make sure if you gotta get this sub,
For
you gotta thank that
taking
individual.
your spot there, sir.
Wonderful.
You know, Junior, I'll say this.
It's a
you've got lot
mistake,
on
I
your
understand, just don't
showing
let it
up to
happen
the
again.
PD's turf after that. You know what I mean?
I know. Well, I turned up there, and the guy.
I always
want to
hear something funny.
Anthem for
Of
me,
course.
which is beautiful.
Why don't you do like a lap or two? You want to do that?
Nah.
I
Oh.
tried, Ruby. Sorry.
Thank
Oh.
you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Can you make him do that?
Seniority.
Ooh, I didn't know you guys
Seniority.
roll like that.
Hey, Mr. Chavez, you have a moment
Why
after this
don't you
meeting? I
want the
think we need
gift?
to have a discussion of sorts.
No, I hate getting gifts.
Yes, but not right away. Can it wait like an hour?
Yes, okay. And just contact me when you're available.
Will do.
Oh, he flipped shit because he was pesto? Listen,
Oh, sorry.
if you got... Hold up.
What song are you listening to at the moment?
Hold
Greg?
up.
What song's stuck in your head?
Before we continue on this train of thought, if you're... Oh, I can use a phone again.
Never heard it. I might give it a listen.
Oh, you should give it a listen.
Mickey O'Leary.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm really into Shabuzi at the moment. Really like it.
Before
Been-
I go down too far into this rabbit hole,
I'm late to the
right?
train,
Right?
probably.
You know,
I'm late, very late to the Shabuzi.
the original inspiration, 9 months ago.
But it is-
Okay?
at least I got there.
9 months ago.
It's
All right, we started with that, and then we went a little bit further with the hair.
Shabuzi.
Shabuzi's
This was the start of it, and then we went further.
Oh, not
Okay.
interested. No.
No, he's not. It's
Well,
not.
Uh-huh.
What is he?
Uh-huh.
So what is he then?
he's taken a country and he's kind of blended it. It's
Who let Pesto into the PD meeting?
always cook cap.
So
The irony that I just call, I just call the other character and be like, "Hello, Isaac."
Okay. Fair enough, yeah.
Hey, how's it going? Like an old friend. He calls him basically like he knows him at this point.
I do like him. He's got some good songs. So give him a little listen, Shabuzi.
all
I
right.
got-
Junior.
Yeah, I forget that I can't use a phone. Well, not that I can't.
no,
I
I don't
can't use a
listen to the
phone while I was
radio.
on Bailey, because I'm so used to
In
not
my-
using a phone
I think
anymore.
I've said this before. If it came out after 2002, I probably don't know it.
God, you're old.
You know,
I am.
I'm a bit like that though. I'll be honest.
Mhm.
New music, pretty.
Oh, this was him saying he was done. There's nothing really anything
I
else.
disagree.
Gang turfs and
Disagree.
increased aggression.
And that's
We'll always be
all opinions. Right?
there to heighten. Do 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 do.
That always
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
Same.
Why, you mean this isn't the play guy? No, son. No, it is not. Hello
Dan,
there,
he really
610.
wasn't joking about the stream. How's it going?
610, do you remember
Doc Wiz
one
Heart.
of the OG emotes that I have?
Oh my
Is actually
God.
from you, I believe.
Michael, should we no, I can't even say that loud. You know what I
Mm.
mean.
Old fucks.
There you go. I think that was yours, was it not?
Hey, no need for the ageism.
What's wrong with Moonlight Sonata? What's wrong with that?
Bit of meatloaf? What do you mean?
That was back in the Family
Meatloaf's
RP
great.
days,
Is that not something you eat?
if I recall, actually.
No, he's an artist too.
Leave that alone.
I saw Meatloaf.
I think that's when I had that one
He was
made.
on top of- He was on top of a red double-decker box.
Shara, thank you for the 36 months. I appreciate that. Thank you always. Everything that you do as well. And Angel, thank you, gifting sub to 610. Appreciate that as well. Thank you, thank you.
I know.
ADMC more Williams. So this is just gang toast, right?
Then he died.
Like a better hell, I'll be gone
Back when you
to
just
the
started
moon.
out?
Come on.
I forget who referred me.
You
at
know,
that point.
say what you want about Meatloaf, right? but that guy would do.
I don't remember who
anything for
referred me. Someone referred me to you at that
Absolutely
point. I
anything.
don't remember who it was.
Mm-hmm. He passed recently, didn't he? Like last couple of years.
Yo, Spare, thank you for another gift of
Yeah.
sub. Appreciate it.
You know, I saw a face that I.
I'm always gonna say it. I'd be the crazy, which comes straight back from Ice's chat. You know, I have known that person all too
Oh,
long
shit, yeah,
for being
yeah.
part of Ice's community.
He was an icon, wasn't he? He's pretty iconic,
Yeah.
no?
I mean, it's kind of the guy you would expect to be dead by 27.
Is he dead?
No.
Marilyn
No,
Man-
it is
He's
not.
probably just in jail or about to be.
It is not.
I'm having
Calm
fun
down.
with it.
Here, hold up.
I just remember that one song he did where he's in a jacuzzi.
Ice is so cool. No, Ice is a
Oh.
loser. You can tell him I said
Was it
that.
Sweet Dreams? He did a cover of.
Sweet
Yeah.
dreams and
Iceman's a
melody. Yeah,
loser.
that's what he
I'm
said
kidding.
to do.
I'm kidding.
It was either Sweet. He did a cover of Tainted Love too, didn't he?
Tainted Love was good as well.
Uh-huh.
No, but he kind of is. You know,
Talented
he's
man,
been to my
really,
house,
though.
and I've
He was.
gone out
yeah.
to LA and have dinner with him a few times.
Beautiful
We've done
People was a
TwitchCon.
great
We've
song.
done PAX. So he's not a real friend of mine, so I'm calling him that.
doing
I don't mean that actually seriously.
My
Un
guitar's,
momento.
If there's anybody in
My
there that
guitar's
will
back
relate
at
to
my
it.
apartment. I'll play it for you one day.
Okay. I'll hold you to that, Michael.
Un momento, por favor. All right.
Surely Brock won't do that.
Wouldn't I do?
Don't worry about it, Brock.
I wouldn't do nothing to hurt nobody.
Is that
I'm just
Kylie on another
British.
character?
Oh, I hate the English people. That's true. I do hate them.
Excuse me, what? What was that? Why do you hate English? What we done?
See,
But we're in America.
this was when
Same, I hate
the
English people too.
Constitution
what
was
I'm talking about.
being read. So you can say, is it pesto? This goes
If
back
if
to
they're
June,
American
July,
English people,
whenever
that's
this
great.
was.
All right.
Before pesto
But,
was
you know, if
back.
you're an
I don't want to
English person
hear
that's
it.
all about,
I don't want to hear it.
taking back America. I'm not cool with that. You know, we're our own
I
independent.
don't want to hear
country.
it, you know?
I don't think any English person wants to take back America. You know.
That's not true. The Illuminati want to take us back.
You can keep it. Honestly, thanks.
Yeah,
You keep it.
Smell it. Yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
Did you say the Illuminati?
It looked back in 3.0 though. I
That's
don't know
right. The
pesto's in
Illuminati is run
3.0.
by Great Britain,
Even though it was involved with all
Germany,
the
Japan, North
the
Korea,
other stuff, I
and
only knew
United
him by
States of
name. I
America.
never actually saw him,
Okay, so-
to be honest,
oh,
and to be
yeah,
fair,
yeah,
which is fair. I can appreciate that. I never actually encountered him on TJ or
That's-
3.0.
No, it's not even split. The ratios change at any given time based off of the orbits of the planets.
So, well, the intention wasn't there. The intention definitely wasn't there.
I don't, but they
But
do.
you know, the intention definitely was
when
here.
Mercury's in retrograde and all the
This
planets are
was the
aligned,
intention.
The portal opens from hell, and
You
all
can
the
blame
demons will
Archie
stream
Archer.
down to Earth, and then they're gonna go ahead and take over the planet. That's what they're planning for.
It's Spanner. Thank you for gifted
Even if
subs.
it's a little
Appreciate
bit
that
too
one.
much
Allison,
extremes, I
Ninja Girl, and
Who the hell is
Samantha.
that?
Thank you.
No one.
Kanye
I'm
is
gonna do my
clearly
own
your
research.
goat.
I've been talking to Grok. All right, he's been setting me up
Grok
with
knows
all
a lot.
the.
Yeah, Grok
He
knows
knows a lot. He knows everything. He's artificial intelligence.
Probably best for the brain, Michael. Probably best for the brain.
Rock, are you college educated?
No, actually, yes. I
Who's the
am.
one that's actually gonna run the meeting
Here,
here?
Gravy, you can run the meeting
What's your
today.
degree in?
Oh,
University
Ventura.
of West
Come on,
Alabama.
I got a
Ventura.
degree in criminal justice,
Who else can run the meeting?
bachelor's.
Nino,
Checks
I'm
out.
gonna bounce. I gotta do a quick business meeting, but I'll be back once all this is wrapped up, probably.
Where'd you get it from?
Gravy's an
I
interesting
got
one
it
too.
from
I can give you a little bit of
Christian,
a
Society
recap
of
on that
Texas
as well.
University.
Oh, see, I went to a private Christian college, but I don't know about that. We didn't learn about the Illuminati stuff.
Yeah, well, we're part of a mega church, you know.
Oh,
Gravy, please start the meeting, please.
Hello, welcome to the shift.
Wait,
Oh, hey, Gravy.
who's the
Shift
TJ lookalike
meeting,
cop over there? Who the
going to
fuck is
begin.
that?
It's gonna be Saturday, April 5th today.
Who's that?
I hope everyone had a good Friday, and everyone's having
Bruh.
a good Saturday.
Is that Radic?
Let's get into some announcements. Just to reiterate, there's going to
Motherfucker's
be
a TJ lookalike over
Training
there. You see him in the
Tuesday,
corner?
that includes
Over by the tree?
arrest warrants. It's going to be hosted on April 8th, 2025. with
Motherfucker.
Arnold Frost. This is a pass or
Hair
fail
a little
class,
darker, yeah.
Mandatory for all LSPD officers, PPOs, and cadets. Each officer that passes first time will receive 50K. I'll be going through the following. What is an
Man,
arrest
thank you
warrant?
to give us
When is
appreciate
an arrest
that.
warrant
Thank
needed?
you,
Why do we
bleeding
need
too.
arrest warrants? And what are the requirements for an arrest warrant? The training task is to write an arrest warrant referencing to the statement from the scenario report.
Wait, is this the
with,
thing
like,
I'm supposed to be
pieces
teaching
of
on?
good faith evidence, the charges, and why you're pushing these charges. And once
Yeah.
you've written the report, this will be read through.
I definitely did jump
and
off
either
up here on
approved
Slack
or
stream.
denied. So if anyone needs practice, start practicing. All right, on to the next announcement.
Hold on, let me bring that clip up. Fuck.
Going to
I've been caught.
be
I've been caught,
just a
man.
little announcement about gang turfs and increased aggression.
Hold on.
So go ahead and take a look at that. It's got all the turfs. We're not going to be pushed around, but that doesn't mean we should go in there solo dolo. If you're going to respond to a highly dangerous area, please make sure you have 4, 5, or 6
Well, then the
units,
same
depending
what
on
I
the
told you
call,
applies.
to
Then.
back you up.
Oop.
And if you are found in these areas by yourself, there will be consequences for your actions. This
If
is
you're
being
found in
backed
those
by
areas by
Captain
yourself, brother,
Ventura
it is half
and
the fucking
Chief of
city.
LSPD, Wyatt Turner.
Orchardville, Mere Park, Little Soul, Vespucci,
Also, off
Forum
topic,
Drive. If you're found there
PD as a
yourself,
whole, we do not
that is
respond
literally
to
half the city.
Breaking and entering calls at the moment. Thank you.
So you can't go here.
All right. That's all for announcements.
Can't go here. Can't go here.
Does
Can't go here.
anybody have anything in Eastern years?
Can't
I
go
got some new charges
here.
for you guys I wrote that are in the MDT.
Oh,
I mean, just X out
wonderful,
Polito
Judge
then too, you
Gates.
know?
You want to come up here and explain them?
Yeah, what up, Toronto Maple Leaf? And Spanner, thank you for another gift us up on the Anno. That's 2,900. Holy
I'm not.
Spanner.
I told Carmine no, I'm not getting married to
Fucking
him.
crazy, huh?
All right. So
Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that.
As I said in my
Generosity is
verdict
super
for
kind.
the people, be very
Thank you.
Vincent, very Vincent at all. I was gonna fix the loophole. That is. Oh, hi. By the way, I'm Judge Gates. That was the harboring a fugitive one, which is a car
wait.
charge that goes back to the first cassette killer in
Hold on.
2022. So we do have 2 new charges that are in the common law of San Andreas. If you want
is
to read
this-
the backstory on it and like why they passed. But more importantly,
Is this our harboring the
the
fugitive
actual
change?
charges that you guys need to know. The first one's going to be fleeing a judicial proceedings. So
Oh my
bail
God.
hearing, court, anything where a
Thank
judge
you.
insists and they just fucking dip. It's going to be the same as contempt where it's judicial discretion, but it means that when you go to a bail hearing, you can say, hey, look, this guy keeps running from court. He's
Oh
clearly a
my
flight risk.
God, they
That's why
finally
separated
did
out.
it.
So,
Holy shit.
still be charged like contempt, but it'll be a way easier way for you guys to point out that somebody is a flight risk. Same way that we separated out like failure to appear. The more important one though is going to be aiding and abetting a hag offense. So anybody who knowingly aids or assists a person wanting for offense is listed under the heinous act guidelines and escaping law enforcement custody and/or a warrant. When you guys go to post and ask for bail,
Brother,
or
you
have a
guys
bail hearing
all
at that time,
you
when
guys
the
did it
judge
right.
sets bail, or that it's requested the judge
Bunger,
also
you
set
guys
a time
actually
and
did
fine
that
for
charge
aiding
right.
and abetting to match the severity of the crime. So no more felony obstruction of justice for helping someone who murdered someone. They'll actually
Thank
get
God they actually added the
charged
charge
appropriately.
so I
So
didn't
if
blow
you,
another fucking gasket at
TRTs
people.
Is that what you guys are called? The shooty people, TRT?
Thank you.
TFT.
Tactical Response Team, TRT.
Brother.
that's the one.
Shitty people.
Mad Monkey.
Shooty,
Yo, what up,
shooty,
Monkey?
Bang bang.
We're not the shooty people, but we are TLT.
Hey, thank you,
Okay,
thank you,
the
thank
ones
you for
with
the
big cool
prime.
guns. Well, if you guys are going off of warrant apprehension and people
Good to
are
see you again.
hitting cop cars at 100 and preventing you from getting them, hey, guess what? That's aiding and abetting on a hag offense if you're chasing someone with a hag warrant. So, time and fines at judicial discretion. I just want to say thank you to Vincent Ventura because he helped me a lot with this. I had like an idea and he helped me really polish it. So, 2 new charges you guys can use to charge people.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I woke up for this. I'm so tired. Any questions, let me know.
Brother.
Awesome, thank you.
I don't know how to wrap this up.
If you don't know what that stems from, that is the entirety of like Benny Razors, berries,
shit.
all that shit.
Captain
Which
Trig, welcome.
All right, guys.
We had I don't know how many conversations with Brian Knight
every single report with my AI
about you're probably going to lose that. And you're probably going to violate someone's actual rights by doing that because Grayson decided to not actually write and look at the fucking charge.
Worse than a hag. Mark my words. You're done for. You're done, kid. See you on Zelda. Get me?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No,
It was
no,
nice
sir.
working with you guys.
Is that just exclusive to the PD?
ISO does not care which faction or gang you belong to. ISO is for the entire world. You're subject to it. Questions? Concerns?
Could you
You all should be
specify, is
concerned.
it both departments or just LSPD there, son?
Has BCSO seen the light yet, Ventura?
As far as I think we're both in compliance, as far as I know.
Haha, yeah, BCSO, you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, what
Sorry,
up,
I couldn't hear
Jessica?
you over your stocks falling. My bad.
It's fair. I
What
think you'll
happened?
give this sub to Bungard as well.
Even worse. Anyone else? No? Be aware, I will find you if you don't. If you're not in compliance with the ISO, I will find you. You can be asleep, you can be awake. Doesn't matter. The long arm of the ISO finds you. Be afraid. I am darkness. I am the night.
Fucking Trig, bro.
Thank you, Trig.
Yeah, guys, we're totally. None of us are gonna get in trouble in this room. Ha 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 ha. Anyways,
What's your name and badge number?
V Grave 435.
Oh, he's auditing now. He's auditing now.
It's nice knowing you, V. You still have,
Yeah.
you still have a bar license when you get fired.
Thanks.
You'll be fine, Greg. You don't sweat it. I believe you.
Oh, Leo Silver, thank you for giving sub Ninja Jessica as well.
Is it a
Thank
bad
you, thank you.
time to now say I don't really know what ISO is?
Oh.
Where?
Where?
If you don't know who ISO is, can you explain ISO?
I should know.
Yeah, what the hell is an ISO?
What is that?
Oh. You missed your Kentucky Fried Chicken former judge?
Nope, I sure
International.
At some point, they have asked him to
Spectre,
come
can you
back
go explain ISO?
literally every day.
I
Great,
don't
my
know what that
office
is,
now.
sir.
Hey, congrats on
Is
the
it in,
promotion,
like
V.
basketball when you like ISO
Yeah,
an opponent?
thanks.
That's
You,
my senior.
office now.
Don't worry, you still have a job with us.
And
Anyone
I want you to move
else?
out the way. If
No?
you don't know what ISO is, go with the captain, please.
Rock?
I feel
Yeah?
like you guys are all lying.
Gotta go
Come
with
on.
Captain. Yeah,
I
Billy
gotta
needs
go
his
with
tray
him?
and Barrick.
he's
Yeah,
gonna
off
teach you
you
what
go,
ISO
bro.
Is he gonna kill me?
Probably
ISO
not.
Is he gonna
Uh,
liquidate me?
Probably
Barrick's
not.
been asking me
I
stuff.
want to be liquidated.
Or Archon has just kind of get in a flow because he wanted to get back into stuff.
Johnson, you want to take over?
So he's he has been reaching
Johnson, you
out.
haven't done
so-
roll call in ages, man. What the fuck?
Lots of people
So,
are missing.
anyone else got anything else?
Doc Soul, Bailey's Soul,
No.
TJ can TP.
Anything from the marshals or the mayor's office?
Negative for me.
Not at this time.
All right, folks. I think we'll wrap it up. I have a surprise for those of you that remember a Mr. Alex Suarez. He's in the lobby and would love to speak to any old friends.
The fuck?
Bye, Johnson.
Huh? Huh? Who?
Only Nicole
All right.
was here.
I don't know.
He's an old cop that then killed a bunch of cops.
He was a criminal.
He also didn't
Yeah.
know how to hide
Aha!
people's names when they CI'd to him. So when I called 911 once at the judge, he just put my 911s and my name in there and then released
Why
me
is
to the point.
Suarez back?
Great cop, great cop.
And why would he be in MRPD after he went
All right,
straight
folks.
crim?
Got shot because of that.
If there's nothing else, it is National Play Outside Day, so let's get out there and have a good time.
Hey, touch grass, everyone.
Hey,
Yes.
that's what I do when I go into shift 2.
What's touching grass?
I have no idea.
Go touch some concrete.
It isn't my third favorite old man.
Thank you,
My
everyone.
third favorite? Well.
Whoa, D.
Well, to be fair, Artson and Labar aren't around to do anything.
Yes, there is.
So they're like,
that's fair.
they're like perfect.
I think they will be 1 and 2 of mine as well. Even if I had to put myself on that list, I think they'd be above me. How have you been there?
Kind of help make me who I am. I'm all right. I need to be careful though, because I'm gonna keep fucking around and end up with a different title in front of my name, a bigger one.
Uh-huh.
Stop doing all the admin side work, because I'm gonna fuck around and end up a justice, and then I'll be sad.
Well, what's wrong with that?
I don't mind some of it, but the part where people are like, "Hey, can I talk to a justice?" and I have to go talk to him about stuff, I don't want to do that.
Well, why not?
I'm the one that does that.
A, it conflicts you out of all the fun
9.9
stuff,
times out of 10.
and then B, it like, I was in the DA's office. Okay, I've already gotten yelled at enough by cops for telling them no.
Oh, I'm aware. How do you think I got my beginnings as well? We had to start somewhere. What brings you back around?
The entire DOJ got conflicted out of a case, so they flew in someone who never wakes up.
They flew in someone that never wakes up.
Like
You were also on the list, John, to be fair.
What's that?
You were on the list, just lower down than Liz. Because we knew you were with
I don't think I don't think I was ever going. I think I was crossed off that list if there was one to be on it, to be frank.
Well, I think the people that probably crossed you off aren't here anymore, so.
No, it's regards to the actual part to that.
It's weird when you call him John. I don't like it.
Bailey, whatever. I don't care.
I-
I've never
it's
been
all-
one for
it-
titles and everything. I don't care.
Feels weird because it's always been like Bailey, because like you're always at the top of the totem pole, you know.
It's formalities. Who cares? Your colleagues. And so I've always viewed it. Doesn't matter any different. And so you're the proverbial shooter, huh?
Yeah, I'm the break glass in case of emergency.
Well, you're
in case
still
someone
here.
sues
I fucked around and decided to pick up a bunch of cases because I'm bored. So
Well, what's wrong with that?
nothing's wrong with it. It's fun. I like it, except for when I go through all the trouble of scheduling it, and then Officer Fwank Williams decides to motion for dismissal. Absolutely not. I already spent the hour scheduling this damn case. You're showing up and telling me in person to my face why you should dismiss it.
Frank the Missile, huh?
Yeah, good old the missile. Still kicking around, apparently.
Yes, he's there. Been a long time since I've seen him as well.
Well, he'll be around. Let's see. He'll be around Thursday, April 8th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. On my
Don't
damn
count
court
on me
case.
being there.
Because I'll be damned if he's dismissing after I did all the hard work of scheduling. You can
You know-
dismiss it in person.
At some point, we actually had individuals that would schedule them for us. We just haven't.
me.
That was you, wasn't it?
I did it for Grayson. I did it for. I don't. I used to have Kyle Pred and Ramio Raman's availabilities memorized because neither one of them would respond to the docket.
It was the best thing because I never had to worry about it because it was the worst damn thing to do. I am not someone that cares to do all that stuff. Just set a damn time, show up. If you can't, good luck. It was the worst time of everything. Maybe, just maybe, sometime in the future that might be slightly easier. Or just...
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, maybe. You know what could be good again, and I don't think we do it enough, or y'all use that option as much as just doing straight-up depositions and be done with it, put it as admissible, and here we are, use it in the actual proceedings, and good. We used to do that quite often. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I've been cleaning out my old, like I've been showing Sean Danielson all the old documents because he's been trying to kind of work on a new, like attorney book that we give new guys with all the info they need in it, and I found the old one from before the collapse with objections and how stuff works for them, like how a bail hearing is set or like that kind of stuff. He's writing in the MDT, and I found my list of all the important documents that I got yelled at for making. Thank you, Alan Crane. But I was like, look at this shit, and I was like, look at all the stuff that we just don't do anymore. Don't need.
If you'd like, I'd be happy to take a look at it and always have a different set of eyes.
Yeah, I'm updating it a little bit because, see, some of us, like me, we don't have offline MDTs.
Hey, hell you mean you don't have an offline MDT?
Thanks to a nice Error 500, mine just has never worked.
Well, blame the damn Air 500. Fix it.
I did, and I've already put in several complaints about it, and my complaint about it has been tagged with the appropriate IT worker to fix it, but it's never been fixed. So. So some of the basic stuff I made offline copies of because it's just I can't quick access it when I'm prepping for a court case, and I don't want to have to sit around at City Hall doing this, right? Like I want to sit at home going, all right, what do I need to do for a court case?
Did I ever send you the penal code one?
No, you did not.
Got me to that.
I was cleaning stuff out that I was like, okay, don't need the FOIA form anymore. Don't need the expungement form anymore. Don't need all this stuff anymore. It's all actually easily done. I've also been putting everybody's court cases into the MPT.
Am I gonna bring this up? Am I gonna bring this up? Am I gonna bring this up?
I could delete this Caesar one because it didn't happen.
Am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do this?
But yeah, so that they're actually available.
He still hasn't fucking signed it!
It's nice that works, the calendar. It makes it so much easier to like, not double schedule stuff if it's all on the calendar.
It is quite nice having everybody's availability all at once and just seeing it and when it's actually scheduled for. I think some people used to use that mighty frequently just to see what was happening in any given day, and those lawyers that were aspiring to be something more would also come around just to watch him.
Mm-hmm.
It's something we could do more of.
Did Axel ever give you that report, Liz?
Wait, did he actually write it?
Well, I assume he was. He was saying that he was writing it, so...
I hope... I have not. Nope, he did not give it to me. I told a brand new probie lawyer that I wanted, because he was at a court case, I told him I wanted 3 pages in Comic Sans, size 12, double spaced. Comic Sans so I can read it because I'm dyslexic. On what he learned from the court case, and I was joking, but then he said he was actually writing it, so...
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. It's funny though. I didn't mean it.
Hey, you tell them they didn't take it literally. Come on now. Falconer.
Yep. What's up?
When were you actually deciding that you were going to sign the damn legislation from December 20th?
Oh, you mean the one I yelled at him about?
The one I have texted, the one I have thrown into email chains multiple times.
Has Weiss stopped fucking... Weiss said he was gonna...
It has been unsigned for the last... Well, unsigned since February 4th.
I thought Weiss was gonna do it. Okay.
Nobody signed the damn thing. The entirety has been invalid. Like I said, if I truly wanted to be a son of a bitch, the best there ever was, they was going to come down to Georgia, and I'm going to take that golden fiddle. By all means, son. That fiddle will be playing all legislation that has been passed since then using it.
Fucking Connor got me onto this song this morning. I had to use it.
Yeah, I know that both times you pinged us in the email. People said they were going to do it, and then they didn't. And I would... Like, okay.
Well, at least one of those people who said they were going to do it and didn't do it are up for impeachment for not doing their job. So maybe they should get on that shit instead of fucking playing around. Sorry. I have opinions on that.
It's fine. Well, the whole impeachment side, sorry, I had to actually email the damn governor and say this thing was up, and he finally responded to it. You can thank me, maybe later.
Has he made a decision on the the other one yet?
No, I don't think he has. Which
Okay,
one you're
the
referring to? I can.
Signatures are on them though.
Fred v. the GOJ.
Oh,
Oh, that's his. You might want to bring that up to him.
That's a state affair. That's the.
we brought it up when we flew you in, and someone replied. I think it was. Hold on.
It's still out
I
there.
think the person that you don't like was replied.
The bald bitch?
Yeah.
Bro, fuck that bald bitch. Also, that bald, that bald bitch is that's not his shtick, right?
No, I know, but like,
It's fair. Thank you for the gift. I appreciate that.
I feel like a response is like enough to be like, oh, it's people looking at it, but like, I don't know.
Who the hell's a bald bitch?
Dr. Derek Shaw. My arch nemesis.
Yeah, arch nemesis, huh?
He never woke up for the entire 6 months as a doctor to give me my medical license.
Well, the fact that I can say who means I haven't seen him either. How about that?
Yeah. Look, I should talk him all the time because I know he won't wake up to fight me. He's too busy fucking sipping Mai Tais on a beach somewhere.
What's wrong with that? I'd love to be doing that right now. I don't know about the Mai
he's
Tai
still-
part, but
he's
something
still an
else. Beach would be nice.
He's still an active member of the board at the hospital.
Well, whose
Well,
fault's that?
active.
Overthrow it. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
If it was up to me, I would have already years
Oh,
ago.
would you? What held you back there?
I quit being a doctor because the people in charge when we moved to Viceroy made it so fucking miserable and soul sucking that I'd rather go back to being a lawyer. And at the time, I was the only AU lawyer, and that was miserable and soul sucking. So that tells you how bad being a doctor was. That and I can't do surgery anymore because of a medical condition. I have a tremor in my hands.
Well, that would eliminate that, I would imagine. Most of us, we just call that tremor old age.
I'm only 25.
You're getting there.
All right, I need to put the McNee thing on the fuck. I'm doing it again, Murray.
Really can't help yourself, can you?
I can't. I wake up, I check the docket, and then I move shit into schedule. I was scheduling shit for Grayson in fucking 2020, 2018, maybe. I first got my bar license. And he became a judge. Okay, it's built into my soul. God, somebody's gotta do it, and none of the rest of the motherfuckers gonna do it. You think Arthur McNee knows how to read?
I'd hope so. Is he? I mean, he's part of judicial staff, is he not? I hope the guy
Yes,
can read.
but he knows what he did, and he knows why I'm mad at him.
Well, then speak it out.
I don't remember. What was the last thing he just did? I mean,
Well,
he
it's
knows
a
what he did to my
hell.
son.
How are
He
you
did-
going to say you don't remember that you still hold a grudge against whatever the hell he just did, and you not say that you don't remember it?
Well, he knows what he did to my son, which is a private matter and involves like health concerns things. But
all right.
I don't remember what he did recently that pissed me off. What did he do?
Who's your son?
Tristan Aziz.
Christine Z.
He used to be a lawyer with me in AU, but he's on a extended health LOA.
I was going to say, I do recall the name, but I haven't seen them for quite some time, actually.
Yeah, he's been back home, taking care of my elderly parents and everything, but hopefully he's moving stuff around so my parents will be able to be self-sufficient again, getting their nurses set up and stuff. And then he should hopefully be able to come back out to Los Santos.
All right, fair enough.
This is not another Paul thing. God fucking damn it, Paul.
What one?
Paul now has cases the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th.
What is wrong with that?
We're just
He's
worried about him
burning the
burning
candle
out.
at both ends, yeah.
Yeah, he's done 2 cases in one day twice now, and he's definitely not up to his usual standard because he's pushing himself too hard to do everything.
he's not got any over the weekend, so hopefully that'll help.
That's why I deliberately moved everything to next week for ours.
Yeah.
It's in scheduling. Okay, that's the only thing I had to add on there because the Caesar stuff's being rescheduled. That reminds me, I have to probably after my court case on Tuesday sit down and actually listen to this entire interrogation for Wednesday's case.
I'm not sure. I am always passionate about all the things I do.
Okay, so you got on Wednesday?
The Jack Ramsey case. Oh, he's getting contempt, by the way.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
I mean, he was gonna get it anyways because he put the complete idiot who should choke on lead meme, even though it was really funny. But also, he did ask Flores to come on duty so he could shoot him, and then that one's not funny like the other one.
Who do you think sent it to me, Niffler? Connor sent it to me.
All I gotta say is Flores better be pointing out the important shit in these giant fucking every single text message he's ever had.
Stop snitching!
All of these.
I want to hear this choke on lead thing. What you referring to with this? I need some context. You're seeing a lot of things right now that is just surface level. I need to go a little bit deeper to understand what the hell y'all actually have going on right now.
Jack Ramsey, who's an ex-DOC, is appealing his charges against Marshall Flores, and he's been real spicy on the docket. I'm not mad at Paul because I know there's nothing Paul can say that would actually, I'm not gonna hold it against him. He can't actually keep Mr. Ramsey from being a fuckhead on the docket, but he posted a meme that's a picture of Flores with like a nerd face over it, like the emoji, and it says, speech bubble says, Your Honor, motion to add evidence of Jack Ramsey texting Flop Dugong about fighting a stash of snowballs. I promise it's paramount to our dog shit defense, and I'm not completely fucking desperate and also a complete fucking idiot who should choke on lead. I thought it was a little funny, like, the dedication. Reminds me of when Tandy Miller used to send the baby with the gun after people.
I think I need to look at this. Hold on.
Yeah, it's the second page of the appeal of Jack Ramsey. I've been censured on the docket before.
Wait, is it better than putting LMAO in big letters as a response and then immediately posting a judicial review?
I feel like I'm conflicted against thinking that's the greatest answer that anyone's ever done for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I just want to say nothing I've done has ever been judicially appealed.
Your Honor, motion to add evidence of Jack.
I just miss the old days where Tandy Miller used to post the picture of a baby with a gun on the docket, like a 6 months to a year crawling, and he'd be like, "The baby assassin's coming to get you now," and it was a good time. Nobody gets fun on the docket.
Anyone actually get assassinated by chance?
No, there was no baby
well,
assassin.
Yeah. Hey, let's just say never mind. I think they'll go above y'all's head. I'm not gonna say it.
I just think that I think the baby assassin was Tandy when he had no arms, no legs. Honestly, I think that was the real image.
You might want to stop before I go down a route where I'm not going to be able to return from, and I don't think it's going to be a good one. Who rolled baby down into the office?
Oh my god, there's my post about my charges. Oh my god, I wrote those because you guys took my fucking case law and made it common law, took my name off of it. Made it like standard actual part of the Constitution.
Which one?
Double jeopardy.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them that when we were revising, we looked at the old ones, incorporated them. Was this essential? Yes or no? Did we incorporate those and then put it in?
Oh yeah, to be fair, it's pretty essential double jeopardy. So
absolutely. That, by its all formality, was needed by all means. But the other things, for example, if you would be in court and you have someone that has done way too much research and they have referenced something as a case that is in Wyoming or Wisconsin or Maine or wherever the hell that is, and they start to try to bring that here, it doesn't exist. So there are a few basic things that needed to. The other things could be established over time. And remember, when we first had the original one, it was, I want to call this into a Brady violation. Guess what? It doesn't exist here.
Yeah.
Don't try. But now it kind of
Does now.
does. Yes, it does. The roads violation. Call that.
We also don't have he was pointing out we don't actually have parole the way that we used to. People have been put on parole, but there's no parole. Cops have asked for parole, but there's no parole. We have bail ahead of time before the court case, but we don't have parole after the fact.
Well, establish it.
Yeah, I said I might work on that one next.
All those things can be fluid. All those things can be changed. And that was the entirety of it. You respond to the environment that is around you. For example, like an officer that was having a conversation with me the other day in regards to an individual that they were trying to charge with serial assaults and killings because they were said to be spreading a sickness.
Didn't we throw out the Geneva Convention with the Sanguine War?
Well, I have no idea, but I hope you did, and I hope you got my nephew with it.
But I don't know. But they when Brian Knight strapped a bomb to EMS and they armed the medics in the war, I think they said that the Geneva Convention doesn't apply. So biological warfare is not a thing here in the state. Technically, it's not in legislation anywhere.
Well, that was then, and that is no longer now. Keep that in mind.
True.
Yeah, we did have a discussion about the whole biological warfare thing
Bailey's nephew is TJ.
last week.
They don't like each other. They never have. They never liked each other. They
Talking
never
about
cared
the
to.
idea of like people refusing quarantine who are aware of what they're doing and like going around confident people.
Well, there's nothing to force the quarantine aspect, is there?
No,
There's no
that was the issue.
guidelines around it. There's nothing that you're saying that this is what you need to do. In regards to the actual serious assault and killing side to it, they were saying that, well, this just is the testimony of an officer that this individual just doesn't like them. I said, all right, well, where's the premeditation part to that? Where's the planning? Where's the first degree aspect? How are you actually going to prove the fact that this sickness, per se, kills individuals? You have a medical research. Can you do all that?
As I know, as being, because I was the one who did it, I think I might still be the only non-pediatric doctor to 5150 someone, and it was an overnight 5150 because if they checked themselves off in the ICU, they were going to die, and they wanted to leave. And so it's like, that's the only time that's ever been done. We've never had a standard of forcing someone to stay in any kind of medical thing without, like, against their will. We've never had that. Like, that's never been set up, except for psych. Because I had a woman who had overdosed on metamorphine when that was a big problem. And if she had checked out, she was going to die from the detox, like from just withdrawing off of it. And I had to get Crane to sign a 5150, and I had to get her lawyer to speak for her because she was not mentally capable. I got approved for the bare minimum of, and the moment she's off of the drugs and she's clean, she can leave. Was what it was. So,
Well, those are things that can still be established now, but we have to keep very strict guidelines or stipulations with it. I mean, there's enough going around that 5150 could potentially be all right, but reality is that needs actual support system with it, that and a guideline. What's going to happen and what has happened and what will continue to happen is someone is going to see that 2 months later and going to interpret it that 5150 is a normal thing, which reality it should not be. As for example, some of the spirit as to the actual heinous act guidelines, which I had heard later, that individuals were not being granted bail when the intention of it was to grant everybody it. It was a small confusion of sorts.
Laid down.
And that's part of my fault. I don't, I'm not going to pretend to know that it had not been, but the reality was this was set forth as a direct request that everyone does. But those spirits of it get lost as time goes on. And you're going to have someone say, all right, well, this person got denied it, so guess what? I want to deny this person. And that just starts a snowball and has that effect. And so there is some validity in having some sort of continued effort and continued discussion with those and evolving it as time goes on. The moment we stay stagnant is the moment the actual city stays stagnant with it as well. The moment we get ourselves in these situations, very similar to what you just announced today. The actual running from the bail, or what do you have? Fleeing? What's the
Judicial
charge?
proceedings?
Yes, that one, and then the actual hag charge today. That was brought forth to my attention by Mr. Brian Knight in regards to a situation where he wanted to see if it would stick, regardless of any sort of discussion that he and I had that this is a potential violation of this person's rights because you are hoping to retrofit a charge to something that doesn't quite exist, even well knowing that you are trying to get the charge altered, could absolutely be a violation of this individual's rights. Whereas it should have just been worked together to resolve or create something that fits it. Sure, it would have been applied to that situation then, but it could still be applied in the future. And I'm glad those things actually did occur.
I mean, Ventura was who I was against, and like was who was not against, but like who disagreed with my ruling, right? At the thing, and that's why when I wrote the charge, I reached out to him and was like, "Look, it's your court case, your situation. Is this going to fit that hole that PD has? You know better than me." I also talked to a couple criminals as well, and was like, "Look, when you go," because one of the concerns was coming from someone who knows nothing about gang life at all, who's Knuckles, was that, "Oh, well, people don't know when their friends have hag charges," and I'm like, every single member of a real gang, when I call them and I go, "Hey, bud, it's me, your lawyer. You got a warrant?" They go, "Oh yeah, I have a warrant for this," right? Maybe not for hags ones, but like on a normal everyday thing. I'm like, so I was like, "Look, like, how do you? Does this make sense to you as a criminal?" I'm like, "Yeah, no. If you fuck around, if your boy's getting got for murder, you're gonna fuck around and go get him out. Like, it's not like you know what you're getting into." So I was like, I wanted to fill that spot because I felt bad, but harboring a fugitive hasn't been touched since the Bree Matthews case in 2022. It doesn't apply to things the way it used to.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And that's why, once again, it is evolution. It is changing, and that's how it should be. That was the entirety of the spirit of what we tried to put together with that, is adjusting to what is currently happening around you. Not being stuck in one side. Have some fluidity, but I don't think that was entirely, embraced as well as it should have been.
I know Saren gets annoyed because he wrote the CNFA the criminal Five Nights at Freddy's, the gun charge.
Yeah, huh?
And he's like, "This is not how I wrote it or meant it to be applied at all, the way it's being done now." And I'm like, well, I don't know how to help you with that one, but it's like you gotta have to revisit it if we want to fix that. But that's
But they still, once it can be. The only thing I ask is if it does get amended or charged or whatever change is being made with it, is that you actually keep the original one, put the amendment underneath it so people can understand what has been changed instead of just changing the original document, because there are original signatures there that is basically confirming what has happened then. It is okay to amend things, but keep the original and say what this amendment changes about it. So that if someone actually looks at it, they know that there has been something that has changed. They know in regards to what caused that. Instead of just having the information there, having a same paragraph of text in front of you, but having zero context as to what went from the original one to what it is now.
I agree well with that, because there's times where I go to look at something and I go, I swear this said something else, and then I'm like, did I misunderstand it? Was it when it changed? Like,
and guess what? Not everyone has access to look at the historical components as to when it has changed. For example, Falcon over here, when you were doing the whole thing I just pointed out, your signature on the bottom, the only reason I knew it was you is because someone had to look it up for me, and tell me it was you that had changed it. Not everyone can look to see a version history, and that's why I think it's important to actually put what the amendment is. We'll get rid of this BS shadow editing thing that people have been accused of in the past.
I remember the original court case and the reason why that we have MDT history functions. I remember a cop changing someone else's shit right before a court case to fuck them over. Yeah, just like a change log at the bottom, like what's changed.
Correct.
Wording has been updated from copy paste to copy paste.
Yes, sign it off.
It also makes it easier when you're someone like me, or like say when my son comes back and he's been gone for quite a few months taking care of my parents. It's like, and he's like, you look at it and you're like, I haven't seen this in months, but is this what it was before? It's easy to go, okay, wait, this is how this has changed from the way I've known it to be. And if you're real cute about it, I'll even write stuff up for you because I like doing that kind of shit.
The hell? Why does there have to be a cuteness to it?
Because I like teasing him.
Man, no.
I like to drive him crazy, but also I'm still his favorite, let's be honest.
Hello, Berg. Oh man, dude, that tore me apart.
Get you a lady that when you walk out of a court case that you were in charge of and she was, and she goes, bro, what the fuck was that ruling? And makes you actually defend yourself.
The TJ Tesla
Only
talk,
at the end to go,
that hurt
only
me
at
like
the end to go,
IRL.
you know, that
doing
makes sense. All right, that's what I would have ruled too.
It actually made me sad.
Get your brain working, hun.
I mean, yeah.
Tony does that shit to me all the time. Every time we're both at a court case and the court case ends, he's like in my text instantly wanting to discuss the ruling. And I love it, to be honest, because it's like, it's thinking and stuff. But sometimes I'm just like, Tony, please, I've been in court for 6 hours. I don't want to think. I want to go home and take a nap.
And you're thinking at the same time, how do I actually rule on this so I don't die when I walk out of here?
I'm never worried about that.
You never had to worry about that? I guess you never had.
I just don't worry about it. If they're gonna shoot me, they're gonna shoot me. I spent a very long time in the city as both a doctor and EMS, and like the only AU judge for a while, the only AU lawyer. And there's a lot of people who have that respect for me and wouldn't just fucking put a gun to my head right away, you know?
I think the only time I was actually ever worried about that was after I did Murphy Bronze, honestly.
Ooh.
Because Murphy, at one point, a long time ago, in front of me, decided that he wanted to shoot an individual on the courthouse steps, if you recall the one on Occupation Ave, not the one that was by City Hall previously. It was a long time ago. As things progressed, obviously, he and I have not seen eye to eye on a lot of different things, and when I found him guilty of criminal possession of a firearm earlier last year, he made the comment as to whether he should plant a gun on me or not. I still found him guilty as per the actual law side to it. But it's the first time that I knew that if an individual actually wanted to try something, he would have been the individual that would have done it. Still didn't change my ruling, though.
Speaking of people who are on my shit list. Do you know what he asked me the other day while you were in jail? Because I sent Falconer up for contempt.
The hell are you getting contempt for as a justice?
Correcting me from the witness seat.
Yeah, I was a witness. She said it was redirect, and I corrected her by saying it was cross.
Then I said, "Don't you correct me from the witness seat?" And then he doubled down on his sassiness. And then
I said, "If you don't be wrong, then I don't need to correct you."
Well, he was correct, wasn't he?
I wouldn't allow that kind of sass from anyone else. I'm not allowing it from him. But while you were making your way back from prison for your court case, Nathaniel Grayson asked me something that put him between that and him saying yesterday when Carmine proposed to me, I said, God, I just want to go to bed. He said, him saying that's the only time Carmine's ever made anyone want to go to bed. Between that and him asking me if you call me Arcadia during sex, I'm going to strangle that man.
Excuse me there.
What?
Yes. Oh yeah, here's some of the hot fresh tea, Bailey.
I stopped sipping that tea a long time ago. I don't need to know who the hell and what the hell's going on with each other's sex lives at this point. Keep me the hell out of that.
Yeah, he asked me if you call me Arcadia. I was like, excuse me? Bitch.
I don't need to know that whatsoever.
I've also never done anything with okay. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to make a comment, chat, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it PC. I'm going to keep it PC.
Accusation.
I'm going to keep it PC. I'm going to keep it PC. All right. Nope. Not doing it. Not doing it.
To be fair, all right.
No balls.
Pre-collapse,
Nope. Not trying to end up on
You're
Reddit.
so fucking, especially as an elected judge, you can do things. You're so fucking limited in what you do. Like, the only thing I could do personality-wise was be horny, okay? Now I can do other stuff, like, I don't know, actually go out and talk to people and enjoy my life and not just stand there all day and be JudgeBot 3000.
What do you mean? Hold on.
According to Crane, if I stepped even a smidge of a toe out of line. Yeah, okay, there was a lot of that.
You're sure about that?
A lot of that.
Uh-huh.
But most of it actually was, hey, so look, officer, I know you submitted a search warrant, but I'm elected, and they took away the right for us to do that when Saren signed that Buddha shit by accident and got Buddha in trouble, Lang Buddha. There was like a whole thing. So you just gotta wait. And I'll ping all the judges again. I'll do it. One of them will wake up in AU and sign your shit. I promise. And hey, look, I know you have this docket case. But I can't take docket cases, but I can bug search Cross and hope he wakes up to do your expungement, because I can't do expungements either.
Where the hell's he at? You just mentioned Cross. Where's he been?
I have no fucking idea. Probably doing cocaine on a beach somewhere.
It sounds like him. I hope he enjoys that.
I hope he enjoys his cocaine. He seems like the kind who would.
Was that a call
Falconer,
from
can you-
Byron?
Yeah. Can you grant temporary keys back to him so that he can empty out
Get
his
his
locker?
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll head up there, and then whenever he's done, I'll call you and tell you you can yoink him.
Tell me his state ID real quick.
Flyron. Flyron.
3199.
Who you plugging today? Calm down.
Okay, I've added him to DLC.
Okay. Also,
Here
we
you
might want
go.
to look at some sort of government corruption charge.
That's impeachment.
Yeah. Well,
oh, look who the fucking plague doctor is himself, huh?
can I still do that even though he's been fired?
Wrong command. I don't even know the
If
command
you're
for it.
going after
I'm
the
guessing it's a
acts they took
FA
while they were
command.
in a government position.
I feel like I'm innately conflicted from rolling on, like, having, like, dealing with that.
Because, like, part of the punishment could be they can't hold a government position again.
Yeah. Okay. Will do. All right. I'm gonna head up there, and then I'll shoot you a text to tell you can yoink him.
Okay.
Well then.
Yeah, apparently like, DOC did some evidence tampering in the they altered the DNA in their own profile and did some other stuff.
Oh, classic case if we don't understand that, there are historical logs of who answers things. So don't get caught there. God forbid. That's your job. Very easy to find. It doesn't even take a whole lot of research to find it. It's what happens to all the reports as well. If you haven't seen them, they would be there. Don't mess around, find out. As they call, they're fucking around and finding out proverbially.
Yeah.
Connor, you made me do a double one down to Georgia bit earlier.
I feel
Just
like my
because of our
next is I'm gonna go
conversation on
through
Discord.
Every single person now that I've gone through every single person in the MDT that has lawyer tag, I'm then gonna go through all the make sure I didn't miss anybody who has judge tags who's not supposed to, or judge permissions. Then I'm gonna go through all the clerks, I think. To make sure there's nobody in there that shouldn't have access to things they shouldn't have in the MDT.
Okay. Also, just added your stuff to the penal code, like change log.
Appreciate that.
I bet you missed it. Yeah, it was a solid like maybe 2-3 liner. Maybe. I don't think I have my VODs enabled, so I don't know if you can actually go back and clip that. So
God, I love Bongo the dog.
I don't even know how to do that. Chat, how do I make my VODs public as they're happening? I have no idea. Chat, help me out.
Bring back dogs to the city. I want Weed Run to come home.
The hell did you name your dog there?
What do you feel like?
Weed Run?
How do I change this? I'm going to my creator dashboard.
It's gonna be that or Meth Table, but Weed Run was funnier.
Content. Video
Tiny little
producer?
Yorkie too.
I don't know. We'll try this. You have Meth Table and Weed Run.
I didn't name a Meth Table, but I thought about it.
Wait, who the heck?
I have Himbo and Weed Run.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry, Falconer.
Oh no.
Well, it's getting heated about my dog and my cat's
Of
names.
course.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Can I old head in the constitutionality checks real quick and hit him with the, back in my day, back originally, mayor had this power.
Yes, I know the mayor had that power before.
I don't see the problem with communing someone so they can't have a life sentence, like just taking them from death to life in prison. Okay.
So
But
I
also
don't think
believe in
the
death
issue
penalty.
is. I don't think the issue is with the idea. It's by the constitution. I don't think the mayors have that power. Because as we have the legislative authority over legal and judicial matters, and someone's sentence is very plainly a judicial matter.
Yeah, but by you guys signing on this, that's you guys giving that power to the mayors judicially, like the judicial power to the mayor.
I think it would need to come. I think it would we would need to propose it, not them, since it's our power to grant in a sense.
I remember when Mel Rickenbacker got his sentence communed. That's his name, Rickenbacker, that old guy that was in like the prunes.
Prune Gang, yes, of course. Him and Eugene and
Gladys, that was my
Gladys,
favorite.
yes, of course. Now here's a kicker for you, because at the point that they are sentenced, they are part of an actual state correctional facility. That means that they technically do not have any jurisdiction within the prison or the prisoners themselves. Consider that for a minute.
That's a good point.
Look at the actual jurisdictional map. Prisoners are not part of Los Santos. Prisoners are not part of Wayne County. That is, they are a prisoner of the state. So if that were to be an occurrence, it would have to be granted by those given power of the state to do that. Because they are no longer in the actual control or the award of the other two. They're not.
I'm also just anti the death penalty.
Well, that's your prerogative with it. Doesn't matter. Everyone has their own thoughts with it.
Yeah, and I think my thought is this: if it's I don't know, it keeps another person. I don't know. I'd rather pay taxes for the rest of my life to keep somebody in prison than put them to death, personally.
What if they escape? And they do it again?
Yeah, but I don't trust the system won't put a single innocent person to death by accident.
it becomes a very moral and ethical conversation, one that I'm not going to encourage us to have at this time, but should they get out, should they be released from it, and they go ahead and continue doing what they had been beforehand, could you have prevented somebody else and their fate with it? Who knows? It's the age-old, you save one, or take one to save many. It is the balance that is not a fun thing to play with. We talk about balance, chat!
That's why I don't do death cases.
That's usually why I take them. Not a whole lot of people like to. Not that I care to, but it is something that I would. Because chat, remember, guess who wanted Dundee killed? This guy right here. This guy.
I'm struggling not to yawn out loud. I'm so
All right, all right. Well, you're gonna put me to sleep if you go ahead and do that, and you already say that you're damn tired enough. So then, I'm gonna go ahead and get food. All right. Why didn't I do it?
Okay.
It was nice to
Appreciate
see
the
you
conversation.
All righty. Hey, good to see you all as well. I hope whatever conversation y'all have goes well. Yeah. All right.
We'll see. Yeah.
Best of
Oh, yeah,
luck.
you have to talk to the governor today. Well, it was nice knowing you, sweetie.
Like, I'm the only one not getting impeached in that room.
Yeah, but that's not how the federal government works. I protested against the Senate. I know how them fuckers are. Snakes a lot of them. Be careful.
Alrighty, I'm headed to the food court then.
Yeah, you take care, Bailey.
Alrighty.
It's good to see you. I missed you.
Good to see you as well. Why didn't we do it? We did! Motherfucker! Listen. Bailey ocean dump Dundee. Dundee make deal with Norman. Norman come back as God Death. That's what happened. Bailey, idiot. Bailey set up all stupid arc for everything else regarding stupid shit because Bailey had Bass Andrew take care of Dundee. Dundee contact Norman. Norman come around. Barry Colin shoot Dundee.
Oh my god, you're still announcing my case law? Oh my god.
Bailey corrupt. Very early 3.0. Yes. Yes. That caused, I will say, that caused a lot of conversation on an OC level in 3.0 about corruption side of what was happening. The whole ocean dumping Dundee with Bass and Andrews. That was a lot of background conversation. Where people were not happy. People were not happy on that. But it happened. It was roleplay, and we roleplayed. Roleplay do be role-playing, you know? And sometimes you just gotta go, you gotta commit. Spanner, thank you again for all the gifted subs today. I appreciate that. Thank you as well. Style who gifted out a few subs as well. So thank you all if you gifted sub. Make sure that if you got a gifted sub from someone today, you thank that individual. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope everyone's doing well. Yep, I blame Nifler who decided to try to no-balls me into having some sort of setting up another arc for my other character on Bailey, who just seems to be the bane of my fucking existence for my other characters. You know, just figuratively saying. So, you know, because of that, once again, thank you for gifting the subs. Make sure you thank those who have gifted. Greatly appreciate it. How dare I do like corruption? Well, I mean, I definitely just say to those two when it was happening, I needed a little bit more of a permanent solution. And they decided to off Dundee. Sorry, not sorry. sorry, not sorry. You know, loved it. It might have been a small bit of a thing, yeah? The other thing is there's supposed to be something happening on like Monday, and Cabs was asking for people, but getting a fucking whiff of that was I probably should not actually volunteer on my face's guard for that.
You sure that's not Condor Sandals?
What the hell are you speaking about? Come on now.
Yeah, where's the 11 Helps and Spaces, dog?
Hey, what about it? Hello there, Osvaldo. I see that you have gotten your $1.5 million because you clearly are still here and Mr. Yeager has not killed your son of a bitch ass.
Yeah, I took out another loan from somebody else.
You took out another loan from somebody else that you're going to have to pay back at some point, and guess what?
That's what I did.
Yes. And who are you actually paying back this time?
Oh, he's the leader of the ADMC. What was his name? Barry Benson.
But you need to pay someone else off?
You're in debt again, Osvaldo. Don't you owe Sophia 500K?
This fucking shitter, bro. This fucking shitter, bro. He found Barry! Chat! Ignore the entire search that's happening for Barry right now, as Valdo, he's hanging out with him. This motherfucker. Hello there.
Hello, how can I help you?
Well, I'm interested to see what you have.
Yeah, so we got kebabs, we got some halloumi fries.
Hi there, Ursula. How
Hi.
are you?
Good. I just saw you and wanted to say hi.
Well, hello there. Good to see you.
Yeah, but yeah, we're just a kebab shop, so we got our kebabs, we got our fries, got some teas to drink.
Hey, what sort of kebabs you have? And what sort of fries and what sort of teas?
So the fries are halloumi fries, so you know they got garlic, pickle, cheese, and then obviously potato. And then the tea, I'm not too sure on the tea. It's called Rooker tea. It's just the brand name they've got on it. And then kebabs, we got our steak and we got our chicken.
Hey, have your steak. All right, let me go ahead and have a steak one. I'll have the fries and I guess that Rooker tea then.
Perfect.
Can I have two combos then?
You want two? Yeah, I got
Yes, if I could.
on a second one. How's your day going?
Just another day that ends in Y, honestly. It's the same thing. A PD meeting, do a bunch of things, have a few conversations, meet with some old colleagues, and yeah, that's about it.
Hello. There's your two kebabs. Here's your fries. And there's the tea for you. You have a great day.
All right, you as well. Thank you very much. So is Jesse Reed. Barry Benson's dead. Listen, we're just here to help out with the Barry shit, alright? We're just helping tell a story with it. Okay? That's all we're doing. I ain't trying to get involved with more things than I need to with it. It's club stuff. I'll let the club stuff be club stuff. I was asked if I could help do this certain thing. I said, yes, I will. And so we did. Now let them figure it out. You know, they got their own shit going on, but I'm happy to help if they need it. The fuck? What is that? What is that? Yo, is that the car that Osvaldo... Nope. I was gonna say, I thought that was the car Osvaldo drove TJ into the council meeting before he got shot. Osvaldo had a motive to kill Barry? True. Real, actually.
Oh, this reminds me. Hold on. God, I love the duality of two characters here. What was I gonna text her? Shit. The duality of Bailey.
Sir, it's raining.
Yes. What do you mean it's raining?
It's raining. It's.
I don't. What the hell, son? You high right now?
No.
You sure that you're not high?
I'm pretty sure I'm not high.
I'm pretty damn sure that my clothes are quite dry.
Maybe I am high.
Yeah, I don't know, son. You
I
take
mean,
something?
I'm British. I might just have so much rain trauma that I just project it, you know?
Yeah, you might just be traumatized, my friend. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I might be. I might be.
Well, no need for an umbrella quite yet, but if it was raining, I'd be the first one to have it.
You and me both. Gotta love a good brolly.
No. Yeah,
Did you need a ride, or are you all good?
Oh, no, my car's just down in the parking lot right there, the white one.
Oh, okay, no worries.
The Coquette D10.
What was your name? Nice to meet you, my
John
name's
Bailey.
Sparky.
Is it Sparky? John Bailey.
Well, nice to meet you, John. I hope you have a good day.
You as well. Take care.
Take care.
SK! I thought he was gonna fucking kidnap me for a second. I was like, alright, fuck it. We'll go 2 for 2 on kidnapping government employees. Oh man, Bailey got kidnapped for a cash exchange one time. It was kind of awkward. It's like, alright, sure, if you want to kidnap him, go for it. I don't give a fuck. By all means, please kidnap the old man and see what happens. Apparently, people just don't have the common respect and decency at this point to fucking leave the old people alone. Old man, nope, hostage. Motherfucker. They don't do surveys for kidnapping anymore? Nope. Wait, that sound like Hubcap for a second? Oh, they're kidnapping someone. Oh, yep. Might be involved, honestly. Bailey might have been a target there, and they decided to kidnap someone else. Maybe? Oh. Oh. Oh, I gotta contact Michael. Oh, well, that's ironic. Nino's calling me right then. Hello there, Mr. Chavez.
Hey, you want to come down the boat dock?
The boat docks there. Yes.
Civilian boat docks?
I can. I thought you used to have the Vespucci bench. I'll be there in just a few minutes, all right?
All right, see you in a bit.
All right, take care. I actually haven't listened to it yet. I need to. I heard that there was I saw like on my newsfeed pop up that the lyrics have been released, and I needed to go listen to it. I have not listened to it quite yet. It's good. Yeah, I like all this stuff, man. I've actually enjoyed all the things. They are doing a tour, and I do want to go see them in concert. If I want to buy a ticket, a resale value is going to be so expensive, but at this point, oh, Civ Docs, it might be worth it. I might actually consider going and buying a ticket. Whee! Whee! Oh, don't crash. I don't know how to drive a car anymore. My characters don't drive cars. I never get out to actually do anything. Washed? Probably. I would probably be like the worst driver. You put upgrades in this? No, I haven't. I need to.
Well, not that I need to. I don't have an actual need. Civ docs. I'm here. I'll go the other side. He might be on the other side.
DocWizard.
Yo, Blue Fairy. Thank you for the 30 month pretty sub. Appreciate it. Bailey's old, so you know. Where the fuck is he referring to, bro? Nino? Am I going crazy, losing my mind? Do I not see Nino's car? Mr. Chavez. The fuck? Is this literally not the Civ docs?
I'm gonna be there in about a minute.
All right, I thought I was losing my damn mind. I went to both sides. I'm like, where the hell is this man at? All right.
No, I'm just making my way over.
All righty.
See you in a sec.
Yes.
Bye.
All right. Let's see how this conversation goes. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to do a good job at... here, you know what? Does this call back on Turner? Hopefully not. So I think Bailey should do a decent job of trying to not relay that it's Turner's concerns. Because you kind of have to think for a second. Turner did ask Bailey to come back. Also, if there's a new mayor, the mayor can basically get rid of Turner. So he kind of works with Turner more than anything else. So he does try to protect his interests, but there is a little concern there, you know, just saying figuratively.
Hi, Bailey. You look great.
Yes, thank you there. The fuck?
What the fuck is going on? Bro, this isn't sus as fuck at all right now. Let's go to the Civ docs. This is not sus as fuck at all. Are we actually getting killed? Is that what's happening right now? That actually what's happening? We getting ocean dumps by Nino and the mayor crew, mayor gang. Someone kidnapped the old man? This man has been well overdue for some sort of perma at some point. Wait, that's his car over there.
Yes, I'm headed over that side. I just saw your car there.
Oh, gotcha. All right. I shall see you very shortly.
All righty.
You take care.
No, we get a boat ride this time. Oh, we get the ocean dump Bailey time. Woohoo! Oh boy. Let's go. '07. Let's go. Finally an end to Bailey. Kill him. Get rid of my pain, man.
Do you need me and Jason to help you in?
No, I should be fine. Thank you much.
All right. All right. You don't mind if Jason's here, right?
Nope. Don't think we've met.
Hi, I'm Jason.
Hello there, Jason. Name is John Bailey. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm just fine. Thank you much. I see you've upgraded, Mr. Chavez. You go from bench talks to boat talks here, huh?
My bench became endless conversations, which I don't mind, right? It's part of my job, but this I switch between standing, sitting, but this is an alternative to driving around, dealing with locals, getting in a car crash with someone driving in the opposite lanes, and just I get to escape a little.
Yeah, fair enough. I can always appreciate a good boat ride. Can't say I've had one in a while, but alrighty. Where you normally head to, there?
We're just going. We're just going.
Oh, all right. Okay, then.
So, what is on your mind, Bailey?
Well, a few things. It was sort of brought to my attention in regards to a few conversations or topics that have been brought up. In regards to a few things that has been said. One of them was in regards to Class 2s and charges. I wanted to get your take as to your thoughts. And those were happening with robberies of security firms.
Well, I can do you one better.
All right.
Is this the conversation with like Turner and Company?
It was brought to my attention at some point in regards to the wording. And
Yeah,
I was
I
asked to
will-
give my opinion on it.
Sure. So this is I'm gonna give you the full breadth of things.
Alrighty.
The first is legislation has turned into the equivalent to feature requests in in the software industry, where it's just thing after thing after thing. So each piece of legislation is very isolated, very scoped to resolve a immediate concern. Instead of, and as such has turned into 80 separate documents. Point number two, or sub-point to that, it becomes very, very difficult for anyone to reasonably understand what is, what isn't illegal, what the extent of it is, due to the sheer volume. And that volume is likely to continue. Next major bullet point. The Department of Justice, outside of their given powers, have introduced new penal charges without the legitimate process of, adding legislation, having it discussed by legislative authorities, thus making things illegal simply because they feel like it. If I want to be less, hyperbolistic,
speak your mind.
It is because BCSO, just a couple of those guys, went crying. And I say crying because that's what it is when you go to a fucking justice and ask for a charge instead of contacting the appropriate authorities behind it, the legislative bodies, and say, we need this. And that included conversations like, gangs have too much money. Is there any data? Are there any facts? No, they're just feelings and words on the street, thus resulting in certain charges going up by 10x. And certain things like contraband, including things that should be legal. And under the guise of all of this, we ended up with jump boots and like cards becoming illegal, even though they were used by normal law-abiding citizens to do their day-to-day job. And while we could say, well, did anyone talk to them? No. Post facto discussion is not a solution, right? I mean, obviously there was conversation, but that's not like a good excuse, right?
No, it shouldn't have happened after the fact anytime. I agree.
And so, and then there's the third bullet point, which is the DOJ, seemingly, despite me explaining it, does not understand what precedent and case law is. As a consequence of finding out that they're not really, shouldn't be really writing shit up to begin with, started to, I think, under the lens of the desires of maintaining power. And I say that like not as some sort of like Dr. Evil sort of thing, but just a normal human behavior of like, I'm a justice, I should be able to create law, right? I think that sort of non-intentional malicious position resulted in them trying to add new penal charges and legislation through quote-unquote case law improperly. This started with the Grayson incident, where Grayson claimed, denied that hot guns were legislative. And in a case with Future Hendricks, in that case, he said as such, and he didn't end up charging Future Hendricks for a bunch of things that were associated with the gun, outside the scope of the trial. Now, from that, his name was dragged through the mud. It was fuck Grayson season. It was so bad, he literally got ousted over it. And instead of talking to him like a fucking adult and actually passing legislation, working with us, getting it passed, they just shit talked. And their grand plan was, we're gonna take that court case.
Why are we at the lighthouse, bro?
And we're gonna make hot guns legal. And in that conversation, I told him, that's not how it works.
Get me out of the lighthouse.
Precedent is set. Precedent is a ruling
Get
by
me out.
a sitting judge or justice or whatever. And based on that ruling, in the specific case, it becomes precedent, meaning that the decision becomes something that becomes a default. If you say that in a court case, if you say green boots are naturally discriminatory, I don't know, I'm making some shit up just for the point of it, because, and this is my legal determination based on the Constitution and existing legislation, we are going to charge this guy for it, right? Based on whatever law. Now, everyone with green, now when it becomes case law, everyone with green boots can be charged with it, and you can point at that case law. You cannot say the opposite. You can't make, anyways.
Well, that's the same thing that we ran into, though, with the whole harboring a fugitive aspect. The precedent of that is because it was accepted that in the original filing that charge became accepted because the actual thing had not been fully vetted. And that led to what has happened or has been established to those two charges that were announced at the meeting today.
Yes.
But the precedent was set based upon him accepting the deal, though it did not fit.
Yes.
And so by default, the precedent was set incorrectly.
Exactly. And now, the concern, so these are all like, may seem like unrelated points, but they're related in that.
Tie it together, Mr. Chavez.
I'm sorry?
I said, tie it together, Mr. Chavez.
Yes. So, in lieu of like this being the reality of the system that's happening, we're now dealing with a case where, unlike in the past, a new scheme is being utilized when it comes to bank trucks, when it comes to robbery of a financial institute, etc., etc., where if you are found robbing said thing, you are hit with not just the charge, which claims itself to be an umbrella, but a series of other things, possessions and everything else that came out from the outcome of it, irrespective of whether or not violence was used. Now, I believe that a lot of that confusion and varying of opinion comes from the
cargo ship
fact that the charge is like 2 sentences, right? And so violence, which may have been intended like as a part of the robbery, did you end up shooting the cops or shooting the hostage, which breaks the umbrella, is now being utilized for the most like strict definition, which is, did you have a hostage? Also, the verbiage in there talks about like melee weapons, etc., etc. With everything in mind, the 10x charges, with the amount of time that law enforcement is using investigatively, how long it takes them down in the cells, which is a fucking waste of time, in my opinion, compared to like focusing on things like the fucking, you know, terrorists in the city and whatnot. In combination with how long people have to wait in the cells for processing a fucking, you know, Neanderthalian fucking case. My office believes that and is currently in the process of writing the criminal code for robberies. The intent of this legislation is to do a number of things. The first and foremost of which is it will define out why robberies are bad. Like, you know, it's literally like, imagine robberies were not illegal in San Andreas and we're making them legal for the first time. That is the writing style we're taking. Lay out why robberies are illegal, then classify them, right? What makes it robbery? What makes it first degree robbery? You know, what is petty theft? Inside of there, we're also going to be defining out what is robbery of a low security firm, or what is it?
There's high security, there's robbery of a security firm, there's low whatever on top of it. There's 3 different sides to this.
Yes.
One's group 6, one's higher, one's lower.
And the goal of which is it's going to draw clarity as to what these things are and set the framework by which any category of robbery henceforth upon its acceptance, that criminal code for robberies can be then expanded on. If the airport tomorrow starts to get hit, update it with the legislation, right? I mean, it will be written in a way where like it will still it will make room for things that may not yet occur, right? But it will also make room for specifics of locations to get added in. It also aims to legislate out what is an umbrella charge. What does it consist of precisely? So that we can remove all this kind of uninteresting debate, let's call it. Now, when some of these things were brought up with Turner, Maxwell, and Doc, which is the only law enforcement I believe I spoke to. Now, keep in mind, we didn't really go into the depths of like the full reasoning as to why it's happening. I went in there to ask about robbery of a high security firm, which, if you notice, is written very different from
the security firm is different from the other two. Yes.
Yeah.
Financial institute versus, there's two of those versus security firm, which is different. Yes, it does. And if you don't mind,
I think it leads to a lot of, yes, please.
I'd happily clarify, because I did weigh on with Turner and some of this, and you don't have access to MDT next to you, do you?
I do.
All right. So fair enough. If you take a look at that just for a second, if you look at security firm, right?
Yep.
Sick. And by all means, I would like differing opinions here and would like pushback if you see this differently than I do. All right? So robbery of a security firm, and I apologize, I'm not trying to treat you like a second grader that can't read, but it's just part of my verbalization aspect to this.
No, I like that. I like,
Any person or group of people who forcibly remove or attempt to steal anything of values in the care, custody, control, management, or possession of a Group 6 worker who's currently on duty. All right, so that's lay person working at Group 6. These are the bank trucks that individuals are doing. That's all inclusive, right? This charge will encompass any charges that occur as part of the robbery, including brandishing of melee weapons, unlawful imprisonment, aggravated petty, evading, resisting, etc. All right, so we take this side to it, and I believe the incident was taken in regards to a Class 2 that was on an individual that they are being charged for, right? So, and
wait, this incident?
This was the one that I was being described to.
So, that, I can tell you, was a point of confusion in the conversation in the lobby. And for clarity, that was an example that was brought up. It was not what, how do I put this?
It was not actual reality?
Not that it wasn't reality. It wasn't like the heart of this was not because of that. It was an example of like, here's an example of someone getting charged with it. This is what happens today. Rather than what happened to this individual was egregious and now all these things are changing because of it.
Well, fair. I guess I won't pretend to know the full context then if it's different from what I have. And so
No, but please go ahead. I'd like to understand anyways.
So my understanding that was presented to me, right, was that, say, a philosophical individual that was part of this has a Class 2 on them. They were GSR negative, so they didn't actually use the weapon in the robbery, right?
Correct.
And so we look at the charge itself, and as the charge states, one second, let me just pull it up again. This charge will encompass any charges that occur as part of the robbery. Well, guess what? If they're still doing the robbery, my interpretation is this, is that even if they have that, possession, while that is not being used, is still a finable offense. And so, regardless of it, if they are GSR negative, that is not part of the robbery. That is separate from what is happening. Even if they didn't use it there, even if they never brandished it, they are still possessing that weapon.
So, and this is where I think clarity is important, because here's another reading of it, which I think equally fits, is that this charge will encompass any charges that occur as a part of the robbery, right? Any charges that occur as a part of the robbery. As of right now, without reading past this, it's saying include everything that happens, right? Now, it then talks about the exclusions, right? Because what it is including is kind of irrelevant, right? Because they could also put prostitution in there, right? And it's just examples. So it then goes on and says, excluding, if we were to think of it a different way, the use of a firearm or additional violence. the problem becomes, what does use of a firearm mean? Now, I can see it, and my first reading of it and the reading of others is that the use of would imply that the weapon was seen being used to hold somebody up. The weapon was discharged. But the mere possession is not an inference of use. So now, why I don't want to get too much into a debate of what the intent of use was or what it could have meant when it was written or whatever, is I think it further points out why this criminal code for robbery is so valuable. It allows for things to be significantly more clear-cut. And, you know, of those that may be in the Department of Justice that like there to be room for debate, this isn't really, what does use mean is not exactly the most entertaining, like, mind-scratchingly interesting, you know, debate to happen in the middle
Blark,
of the courtroom.
thank you the resub. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Rather, we want to bring clarity into what these things mean in legislation, why they exist, and then as things change in society, in court cases, etc., that legislation can evolve alongside, you know, the rest of our criminal code.
Fair enough. So how would you, with your proposed thing, without me actually seeing that, how would you say that that is clarified? And I can understand how you present it as a way to look at it the other way as well. Like I said, my interpretation is different, and yours is different as well. I think there is room for debate there, but interested to hear the difference of, in terms of your proposal.
How would this charge change?
Yes.
I am of the belief that, by principle, umbrella charges are a tool to reduce the administrative burden of
100% they are.
processing both like uninteresting scenes.
Uninteresting.
Entirely.
True.
I think it's a waste of police time spending 2 hours.
That's what they were developed for,
collecting
yes.
Shit and this, and they still got to do that, mind you. But like debating all this. Secondly, as a consequence of the, I will use the word, illegal fines that were changed with everything, there's also a huge negative impact on the fines are already cracked out of this world. And
yeah,
what is the goal of this charge? The goal of this charge is, let's reduce the administrative burden. Let's reduce the debate burden. And that umbrella charge will effectively be everything that is used will be included in a robbery of a security firm. With the exception, which will then be bullet pointed, Class 3 possession of Class 3 firearms. Attempted violent acts, and this is going to be like it'll be defined at the top.
2,500.
Violent, like acts, let's call it, or violent, you know,
30,000.
whatever we want to call
just
the
for possessing
phrase,
that,
which would be in the definition.
The charge for
which includes shooting cops,
possessing
shooting
a class 2 is more than robbing.
Like discharging the firearm. That category will be excluded. So they're explicit exclusions, whereas possessions would be a part of it. Let me give you a little bit more background as to why this is necessary for the safety of San Andreas, for the public good. First and foremost, I will say outrightedly that our city is not in our control. The city is in control of the investors that put their money into this damaged land of ours. And for whatever fucking reason, insurance money is quite frankly, running everything. We can dive into that a bit, but all you got to do is question anytime that Maze Bank is hit, anytime that Flica Bank is hit. Is that money actually going back into the bank? No, it's sitting in the fucking evidence locker. Insurance is paying out the wazoo. Not a single bank has been closed now.
He's not wrong on that one.
So insurance, whether it's fraud, whether it's this or that, don't matter. Secondly,
that money gets put right back as Anson say. Yes.
Secondly,
that's a weird way to put it.
The
next person up, Robin again.
Whether we accept it or whether we do not accept it, the reality is that our economy runs on criminal activity. The police department wouldn't exist if places weren't robbed. In fact, I think the recruitment will go down by 80%.
It's the same for hospitals. They wouldn't exist if people didn't get sick.
Absolutely. Now, when you kind of look at through a certain, with a particular lens, whether people accept this or not, willing to say this outright or not, if there was a button right here on this boat that shut down every bank except the one filled with like 100 military units, no one would want that button pressed. No one would truly want banks to be shut down. My point, because they know this to be true. Right now,
we know what to be true to that.
That
everything runs off of
our economy runs on a military police department facing off against a criminal groups that rob banks, all paid for by insurance companies, or however you want to dice it up.
Well, you're not entirely incorrect with it. I mean, how many times those things actually occur? It's pretty frequent.
But let's say you don't buy that. There's another point here. Is that right now what's happening on the street is every small little ring of crime is shutting down. Small groups literally are going so bankrupt that their groups are collapsing. And this is a factor.
Is this him advocating for crime?
People are flying out of the city and not coming back. Just straight up. And I know of, even just this last 2 weeks, 3 groups that fall into that category. Now, I only touch this subject because I'm with you, and I think you understand that as mayor, it is something I need to be considerate of, right? Are things so bad that they can be chokeholding and suffocating folks? It's been happening for a while. It's worse now.
Oh, God.
And a large part of this is these fines. If somebody goes and gets arrested, they're losing over $100,000 of equipment and getting charged with $100,000 of fines. And they didn't even for a second fire that gun. And so what happens, Bailey, and I say this with evidence, this isn't theory, is that these small crews are losing people, are disbanding, and finding that the only option that they have is joining a monolith like Hades, Hydra, you name it, go down the list, like the 5 or 6 that exist, and becoming one of the weed sellers or just hoping to sit at that table so they get a chance. And that monolith, all right, monolith criminal organizations are not conducive to a safer society. It creates mega corps. You know what I'm saying?
I never knew of a mayor to advocate so hardly for crime to exist.
No, it's a reduction of crime. Who would you be more afraid of? Al-Qaeda or 15, small criminal organizations spread around the city.
Well, frankly, at least a common goal can be established, usually with the Al-Qaeda side. It's much easier to track them. 15 individual ones that pop up at 15 different times that have completely different motives and things that happen, it might be a little scarier.
The small ones are less dangerous. The big ones are a serious threat.
The small ones as a collective can be bad.
Yes, which they're not, mind you. These are friend groups, small little groups that try to get by, right? No one here is, just to be clear, no one here is advocating that they do crime. The big piece is that they continue their crime, but do so by assisting, the mega group. I mean, we're pretty, it's if you want to draw some parallels, it literally is, Afghanistan, right?
I'm going to say, Mr. Chavez, there's a lot fundamentally incorrect of what happens here. And, from a citizen standpoint, one could argue and say the complete opposite should be true as well, that those opportunities for what we run on and the city runs on should be more attractive for those individuals to be civilians than anything else. I know you laugh at that one.
You think, man, we're gonna fucking fly to San Andreas of all places in order to live their fucking civilian life? No. All these poor bastards that come down here thinking that they're gonna fucking, run a business, this and that. Hell, fucking no.
Well,
you know that. I know that, right?
Well, I had to put it out there to do the due diligence of making sure that I at least answered in that sort of capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I think you understand that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But there is a level of that where promoting those sort of things versus deterring versus correcting what is fundamentally correct or incorrect becomes a hard conversation with this, because it's, if you change one, you change the entire fundamentality of things that are happening. You change the activity of larger groups in a way that becomes much more frequent and much more advanced in a way, and are you creating those smaller ones to be able to do the same thing that the largest one do, and then create a bigger problem than what it is to have the monolith ones by themselves? Because if the smaller ones are able to do the same things that the bigger ones can do, now you have 10 problems versus what is one.
I will say that I'm not delusioned to believe that I'm some sort of god playing with, the population and trying to drive things in any direction. I will say that this is a thing that is in the back of my mind, but it is the second notion of the crippling of everybody. Now, I know that because while I do think that creating an environment where we're turning small crews into effectively grinders for big crews to like crack out class 2 weapons like they're candy, it seems absolutely more destructive than the opposite. Now, this position is not, once again, is based on having spoken to many, many, many groups, and it's been a long-standing conversation for some time, both docs. And obviously I'm not going to name who they are, but I'm very much having spoken to a lot of these groups. It just destroys them. Literally one thing, destroyed.
And who is, if you don't mind, who has been destroyed? Because you mentioned that there are a few of them that have gone away. And
I think it's important that I don't name them because you're an extension of the law, right? And them having told me these things in confidence would be, I think, negligent of me. I don't want to remove people's ability to think that they can you know, speak to their concerns without it getting out. You know, but I can.
Well, I understand that, and I can advocate that, and also you have to understand that one may think this, and I'm not saying that this is my mindset and things, but if you say that same sentiment to somebody else and have that, you say, all right, well, does that mean our mayor is now siding with criminal organizations?
I side with the people, right? And I think, unfortunately, for a while, the police think that I'm only their advocate, right? I am forced into a position where I need to think about everybody. Because here's the thing, Bailey, and I will say this, is that my ties go back very, very long, as you know. And if I truly fought in a one pane of class way, I would continue being a criminal. I would join any one of these gangs that offer me on the daily to join them. And I would fill and line their pockets with the hundreds of millions of dollars that are in the bank account. And no one would do shit about it. I think that reality alone, I think, you know, I would actually be a danger. But that's not my intent. That's not why I became mayor.
Well, why did you continue to become mayor? After last time we had spoke, you said the court center up and running, that was going to be the end of it, and that you're hanging it up. To my knowledge, the court center is done.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Oh, I am hanging it up. Wait, did I not tell you this?
Oh, well, you said that you will potentially end it early and have and step down after that.
Well, you know, I'd love to go through story time, Bailey, but it's a more difficult, it's a longer conversation which we can have after the fact, you know?
All right, fair enough.
So I don't want you to get too hamstrung on, you know, small groups versus big groups.
Oh, I'm not.
But the sheer reality is that we had is that we have to look at the history of what's taken place over the last 6 months as a part of the calculus here. And part of that last 6 months is this hiking up of fines. But then also what has been a slowing case of, let's call it stacking. Not even very particular to this, but it creates an environment where we genuinely are trying to fully eliminate crime under the guise of very simple, this is Michael, you know him, right?
Yes, we need to speak at some point regarding your website.
Sure.
At some point.
Of course, yeah, of course.
I think the class 2 let me give you another piece of something that's very important. Bank trucks today are a critical component let me just say it straight. Bank trucks are something that every criminal organization is pointed towards. And most of these class 2s that are showing up at these bank trucks are a consequence of you cannot do a bank truck without a class 2. Because if you do not bring that, you will die.
To who?
To the other gang. Because, and I will say that I'm having a very intimate conversation with Group 6 because they've effectively created a San Andreas TDM match. All the shit they used to hear on the cargo ship is now happening on the streets.
Fair enough. But it's also at the same
sort of like
side to this. It doesn't make it right for having it.
I think there is a major distinction between having out of necessity and having with the intent of using it in violent acts. And I think that distinction is important because, you know, Group A that does it out of necessity is a much lesser evil than Group B, who has it with the intention and history, etc., of using it to mow down each and every law enforcement officer. I think it is also a fool's errand to think that the, like, once you're arrested, you lose it anyways, right? So, you know, it doesn't really solve anything. There is no dissuasion tactic being used by having them lose like a, God knows, $50, $80, $100,000 weapon, and on top of it, get charged with a, you know, $40,000 or whatever the fuck it is, merely for its use. Because think about this calculus, right, Bailey? You, me, Michael, and Jason are about to, shit's bad, all right? We're about to go rob some shit, all right? The three of us are gonna have to get a kit worth $100,000, right? Let's say 100,000. It might even be more. We need to, because if we don't bring this kit, Hydra, besties, etc., are literally just gonna shoot us the moment we arrive at that bank truck. We now need to shoot to defend ourselves. The cops see us; they're gonna shoot us. We gotta kill them. Now,
this sounds like algebra, not calculus.
Oh, the calculus didn't. Well, it is velocities. Hang tight. That's the multivariable calculus, right?
Well, I'm looking at area under the curve. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we are risking, as of right now, with just 4 people, we can make it 6. We'll pretend there's 6. $600,000 in equipment, and just participate. Right? And now the question becomes, we have 600,000, you know, let's even make it simpler. 600,000, we're robbing a bank. We're robbing Fleeca Bank, right? We won't even add the gang aspect to it. We have $600,000 of shit. No, it doesn't. $600,000 of shit. If we get caught with this, we're going to get charged with an additional $600,000 on top of what we lose. Because of that insane, not only what we're gonna lose, we will be, we can calculate out 600,000.
Oh my
when we get caught, that's a cracked amount. So it is mathematically better for us to mag up the shit out of the cops to get away.
You know what I'm going to say with this thing? Then whoever the hell is supplying them with these weapons needs to charge them less if that's truly the case, because it sounds to me like you're breaking these smaller groups because they can't afford to do so and forcing them to make money by then selling it to the larger ones. Oh.
Wait, what?
It sounds like I said, the cost of these things, if I need $100,000, whatever the damn cost is, that needs to be about 25. You said you have all the... I'm joking, by the way.
No, I recognize that, but that's the equivalent of saying, like, we need, you know, whoever's stalking the money in the banks need to raise the banks. None of those things are in our control.
It's more of a figurative, and I was trying to hold in laughter as to regards to half of this. What I'm saying with this, Mr. Chavez, is you're having something that is an illegal act and justifying it with having to have more things that are inherently illegal to do these, and in order to get out has to be even more legal to begin with, because your risk in doing these is so high that you risk losing so much that they are forced to then go to even more egregious acts to do even more things that is causing additional violence, correct?
And I am going to argue that the only reason I have to do this is because the DOJ already used that exact logic to dislodge everything. Because we didn't start this conversation. Like I said, history matters. The DOJ self-decided because of some dimwits that everyone had millions of dollars, so let's increase fines by 10x, thus creating the situation to begin with.
Hey, what was the, if you don't mind, the result that you had with the 50% reduction we get?
Under the guise that it would prevent people from using Class 2s, from shooting cops more, and look at what's happened.
It's continually happening. It has happened all the time. I don't think that has stopped by any means.
Oh no, that is not true.
What do you mean? Oh, you think it's happened less?
Cop wipes have only just recently started going up.
No, what I'm saying is that continually happens.
Wait, what is that?
Cop wiping. I don't think.
No, it's been a thing. Not
I understand it has been a thing. I'm not trying to say that it hasn't. In regards to having or affecting it, I think it has. I don't know if it's a 1x, 2x, 3x, or if it's steady state. I don't have how that has increased or decreased over time that has went on. If there's factual information and data that says that they have gone up, 1-fold, 2-fold, 200%, 300%, whatever the hell it is, that is information that should be used to inform decisions. That was entirely part of why the hell, whenever we decided to remake half of the DOJ side to this, that we had someone in there that was supposed to give us a breakdown of charges and how often and how frequent and how much they have been charged. Because of that, it was going to be used to inform actually the information of how much those charges were actually being put out. Could you adjust for those accordingly, and using factual information and data to begin with? Unfortunately, the person that we had lasted all of about 3 weeks.
You're talking about the data analyst. Marshal's office?
A long time ago, yes.
Yep, I'm very aware of her. She was going to join our office, and because she gave me her V card, Angel fired her.
The fuck?
I wish I was joking.
Your outside life is anyway.
Well, it's not because it's not outside.
No, I understand.
Olive
it became part of it.
Nova, Marshall Nova, witnessed Olive, who was the person down there, who's extremely brilliant, mind you, gave me her V card. Nova saw it all, and the next day she was literally. It's not even like this isn't so like. Literally.
What is this conversation?
Got cut off. Marshall started like.
What is this combo?
Her, and then she was fired. You know what they did?
You should close the damn door there, Mr. Chavez.
I run a very open office.
Clearly.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Transparency is good.
If I get someone damn fired, close it. That door. Who the hell's walking in? If you having someone handing over a car that damn important, lock the damn door.
Business.
Yeah, clearly you're doing business. You're doing the business.
So it's not that she lasted. It's that it's you know.
Well, you're saying you lasted. I got it.
I have lasted.
You really want to clarify what that V card was?
Yeah, what's
like,
so bad about giving someone a Valentine's Day card?
No, it wasn't that.
Oh.
I remember
okay.
what it was. I think Nino is just withholding information right now to skew the context.
Oh, God. It's called humor, all right, Michael?
Yeah, fuck you, okay?
What do you mean, fuck you, all right? We wouldn't have had this funny moment if it wasn't for that. What do you want? Oh, I got a card with the letter V that she called the V card. Oh, man.
No, that wasn't it. See, now you're misrepresenting the situation entirely. It was because you have a V in your last name.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you got the V card, which she was giving out to people who had V's in their name.
But that's
comedy
not
is not your thing there, Michael. Stick to the legal side.
Yes, sir.
So it was for Valentine's Day?
Well, no, it wasn't for Valentine's Day. Michael wasn't there. It was me, Nova, and she said it. Okay. Anyways, irrelevant. We're getting off track.
No, I don't even know what the hell point we were trying to make now.
I agree that data needs to be used, but it has to be. It should be 100%.
That was the entirety of why we hired that individual. And when we were doing charges, when we were doing times, I had them pull a bunch of that. It would be nice if there actually was something in this day and MDT that would run a report for you. But guess what? That doesn't exist. It's a lot of manual labor that nobody wants to do the damn job of. I don't blame them for not wanting to, because frankly, do all that work. Reality is nothing may change.
Doing the work is fine. I mean, sorry. Understanding, I get nobody wants to do it. Maybe she didn't want to do it. I don't know. The fact of the matter is, though, that these penal code hikes were happened in isolation by individuals on the behest of a subsection of the police department under a political belief that it would make some changes. And it was so bad that it's been crippling folks for some time. There was no data to bring it in. It completely flipped the economy upside down. And now we're here.
So you're saying that individuals are much more desperate because they're already down there. They already have everything. Well, they don't already have everything, but in regards to weapons, etc., they're much more likely to use them because it means that much more to them right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much broader picture here, right? That I don't think one conversation would be able to.
No, you're talking about the entirety of the city's finances.
Yeah.
Over an extended period of time.
Yes, and it hurts like, you know, even if you ignore like bank trucks and class 2s and this, that, and the third, right? It also falls into play that, you know, you got a tampered firearm, right? Like a fucking, what is it? Like a deagle. Inside of a Fleeca bank, right? With 3 people, right? It's such crippling debt that it becomes like, you know, well, we got to do this. We need the bigger shit. We don't have the bigger shit. A risk of getting caught, like it just completely devastates people, and it's why people do crime in the first place, right?
So let me ask. I don't need to know your source.
Sure.
What's the approximate street value of a Desert Eagle? What would you put that as?
Well, I don't fucking know that.
Jason, Michael, do you have any idea?
Not a clue.
Nope.
Oh, come on now.
You want to know the real answer is I don't think people have Deagles very often. I think everyone's running around with class 2s because that's all they can find their hands on.
All right. What's the approximate street value of a class 2 then?
Last I heard, it was $60,000 to $100,000.
60 to 100 grand. All right. And how much would you estimate that individuals actually get out of doing whatever one of these robberies is?
Apparently, like a joke amount. Apparently, the bank truck. See, this is what makes. Man. Bailey, people are that fucked and desperate that they've told me how this shit works so that I can understand it. And even to the extent that they're telling cops how it works because they're that desperate. With the situation being that desperate. Apparently the bank truck doesn't have jack shit in it. It is the keystone to everything else in the city that you can rob.
So you do that for whatever the hell is inside of it, so you might need
Yes.
something to do the other thing.
You need to be there. I mean, fuck it. At the back of a G6 truck is a card that gives you access to Fleeca Bank, Polito Bank, like you fucking name it.
So people do these for these cards. They don't do it for anything inside of it, maybe a menial amount, but they try to do it for the other bigger stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I've been trying to talk to Group 6 and being like, hey, you know, I know you got money to move, but maybe don't put like a fucking card to the entire city in the back of there that is so valuable that gangs are killing each other to get it, and then realizing how high their fines are going to be, so taking the calculated risk of wiping the cops. Because wiping the cops is financially, it's a gamble, right? When you're already have $250,000, right? No, how much is it? When you already got $600,000 on the table, right? And maybe more than 600,000 because you shot a gang member. So that now let's bring it to like 800,000-900,000. You might as well shoot the cops because that's 900,000 saved, as opposed to risking another, I don't know, half of that amount. Especially when you weigh in how good some of them are at it.
How much figuratively, say if you went and successfully took money in the Polito vault, how much would you get out of that?
I don't know the amount, but less than the equipment. That's what I remember.
So you have a continuing effect of the equipment costs more than what you get out of it. So the equipment is more valuable than what is inside itself.
It's a rolling effect, right?
Yes, it is.
And it's a rolling effect in that your investment initially is to do all the various stages or branches or this entering into an area. I don't know how it all works. So some of it is speculation, but it's like a rolling thing, right? So who fucking knows? They get the card, they then do, I don't know, the Fleeca Bank, and then maybe they do Polito, and then, or maybe they do Maze, and then they do Polito. Like, who fucking knows? You know what I mean?
Alrighty.
That buy-in is it's a rolling investment.
So
I don't want to go too deep into this, right? Because remember, this is like one of many points.
No, I understand. I get we're down a rabbit hole of understanding a system, but the still crux of the issue is times and fines that you are issuing beforehand.
Times and fines, what can come across as the huge administrative burden, all these like little things. As far as I'm concerned, you fucking rob a bank, let the fucking insurance company handle it. Just fucking take their shit, give them a charge, fucking get back to work. You know what I mean? Go fucking kick these doors in for the class 2s. Go fucking investigate some shit. You know what I mean? Like, if my police department is literally just fucking sitting around with these like dog shit arguments all day on both ends of the spectrum, you know, we need to eliminate that.
Well, here's why I'll contest with you today. If those are being used then to try to attempt to take an officer's life and they are successful for it, I would rather them kick the damn door in, figuratively. Because now you're resulting to that. If you,
I agree.
If you leave and you're done and you do whatever the hell you need to at that point, fine. But the fact that you use it in an aggression towards another individual who takes someone's life, well then that's different.
Wait, there's no contest here. I agree.
All right, fair enough. Maybe I wasn't understanding your first point with that.
I want them to do that.
As they should.
They're spending all day with these other arguments. I think one of the fears was like, without the possession charge, how can you use it as like PC for a patterned raid? And I was like, that's irrelevant. And that can be clarified in the legislation. An umbrella charge does not circumvent, you know, the rest of it. But this is like, at the heart of it all, though, we are getting into a part of a debate that genuinely I've been, I don't want to say avoiding, but is a smaller problem in the grand scheme of things that we're trying to resolve, right? My office is aiming to create a criminal code for robberies. if as a part of that grander debate,
Yo, Hiccups, thank you for the
some of
prod.
these auxiliary points come up and there's a lot of contention around it, we can discuss those. But the goal here is clarity. What comes secondary is how much should it cost? Da, 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 like all those little things.
Thanks for topic another time.
Great. Jason, I think you wanted to say something. I just noticed the text.
Oh, I didn't know if it was appropriate.
I'm an open book as much as he's an open door with V-cards.
Probably not relevant at the moment.
Okay. Gotcha.
Do you and Michael want to talk about the website?
Yes, Michael, have you been made aware of whoever the hell you have running your services of a quote apparently from myself that is inaccurate, that I have never stated and is now being used as Los Santos's front page to all what is happening here with an inaccurate quote, nor was ever asked?
No, I'm not familiar with that. I can take a look into it for you. Would you like me to remove it, or did you want to give a quote?
I would like to have it removed. I didn't give any damn permission to have my name, face, image, likeness on there. Hell no.
Absolutely.
I try to stay out of the media as much as I can, my friend. I don't try to claim anything.
Yeah,
It's how I have stayed where I am.
This is what happens when you give jobs to interns. You know what I mean? They just kind of make shit up rather than doing the work.
Yes, I don't want to have to throw over a cease and desist in an actual civil suit for something, so I'd highly recommend you take that down.
Absolutely.
Thank you there.
Billy, did you get a good sense of like where we're going with?
I would like to see exactly what you're trying to do with it, and you can describe it. Describing it is fine. Seeing it is different.
I agree. Not everything is. We're not even at that stage yet to share it.
Well, it seems to me like you have unfortunately a limited amount of time, don't you? What was it, 16 days or something like that?
No. What do you mean?
Aren't
With
your
my hands and my
Isn't your
typing
election
and-
thing going up soon there, or what? I'm estimating.
yeah.
Last I heard was about 20 days, and I think that might have been 3 or 4 days ago.
Oh, I don't. Oh, I'm gonna be a lobbyist.
I've heard you're trying to do other plans there, my friend.
Yes, investment company law firm.
Yeah. One I've heard starts with an S.
Eh?
Uh-huh.
A sex worker?
I think you've already succeeded that one, apparently, in getting someone fired.
Senator. I was thinking about it, and then I realized things are actually so fucked. I don't want that headache. It's well, okay. I'll give you a brain dump. DOJ has been reappropriating funds illegally. We found more shadow edits in legislation left by our dearest, best justice and director of all time, which added a 30-day statute of limitation on fucking impeachments and shit, which is fucking cracked as fuck. Like, and it came in right when we were thinking about pushing the impeachments to begin with, so the timeliness of it was insane.
You're speaking about many months ago, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
No one fucking noticed. Like, how would you? There's no, like, thing. You know what I mean?
That's why I was
But when these
encouraging to Falconer today. I said, if you make an amendment, you keep the original one, add the amendment down to the bottom, and say what you're actually changing in the lines.
Fair enough. What else? We learned that another one of the shadow edits gave the DOJ control of the federal budget of the federal account. Do you remember the one that Max used to control and it had hundreds of millions of dollars in it?
Yeah.
Well, it was like explicitly told that it's getting all our shit's getting reset, right?
How do I tell this
Like
in
it's
a
not
in
reset,
character
but
way?
like, you know, they're that's gonna get.
There's context behind
what's
this
the
out of
word?
character.
Redundant, not redundant, like put out of service. Well, it was re-added into service, and the DOJ has been transferring money into their DOJ account, and then also funneling those funds to whoever they want to give it to. Oh, cops need upgrades. All right, there you go. But LSP has not been doing it, but it's been going to BCSO. It's been going here. It's been going there. And then I also learned that a certain department is using the BCSO account with those same funds as their personal investment account. They're pulling out things. They're buying properties, putting the money back in. The justices are borrowing money from officers and their subordinates in order to buy properties. It's insane.
Where the hell's Glenn at?
Glenn's been gone for months.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Here's part of this is maybe a small part of context when those accounts were set up. Maybe it was with a level of trust behind it. Maybe that wasn't continually emphasized as it has changed hands over time. Is that there was the removal of funds and put into a larger amount, which you all see in terms of a police budget versus BCSO budget, whatever the hell it is. That is a small fraction of the amount. I would say it probably is a money that's out there. Those budgets are probably about 5 to 10% of a larger account. Those things were supposed to be siphoned as a way of maybe call it a federal tax there, Mr. Chavez. A way that we go back to the state and the state hires those taxes, and that's supposed to be brought to them. And that is not supposed to be something else that is used as an intermediary or someone else's slush fund.
That's literally what's happening, Bailey.
That should not be the case, because those are supposed to be, once again, they say federally taxed.
I recognize that. But what are you supposed to do when the moment the Constitution came up, everyone said, skip on the counties, skip on rules, skip on budgeting? You know, it's at a certain point, I don't mind being the bad guy, Bailey. I think it's fun, right? I would have loved to be what people thought I was going to be. I genuinely. But you can't really be the bad guy when everyone's like idiotically worse.
Oh, I understand, Mr. Chavez, more than you probably could imagine. You know, having this boat ride out here reminds me of a time that Sam Bass and Andrews took someone out here.
Oh, I heard about that. Were you there?
No, it was on my order, my friend. I told you that one. It was a long time ago.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway. Alrighty. Well, is that my cue to get the hell out?
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, it's been a pleasure. Michael, if you could, please look at the website for me.
I have it on good authority. It was already changed.
All right. Well, thank you much.
You take care.
Y'all have a good one. Pleasure speaking with y'all. Nice meeting you as well.
Take care. And you sure you don't have a brother?
I'm 100% positive I do not represent the doctor whatsoever. You fucker. Oh, man. A lot of these talks have like context behind them that I understand has been lost in translation over time. And I think maybe whatever happens tonight with like the whole Marshall and DOJ thing, that might level set them again. I don't know what's truthfully going to happen. It's funny because I just literally DM'd Coyle. I was like, hey, by the way, you know the thing that we talked about with impeachments and that being a thing that the governor wanted to do them? Here they are, by the way. Your impeachment shit, it's up on the forums. You might want to take a look at them. And he just responds, okay. So I don't even think he actually knew that they were going anywhere and that they were a thing yet, because they had been up there for a little bit. And I was like, hey, you might want to take a look at these, Coyle. So
Yeah. Interesting. So much yap I fell asleep. Hey, that's what RP is, all right? What is hold on. Hold on. Yapping. And I'm I thought about this today. Okay? I thought about this for like a hot minute. All right? Yappers, okay? To me, this is mine. Yappers to me are true essence. I guess Mr. Chavez.
There is something that I wanted to say, but we got so deep into what is our philosophy and what are we trying to... I will say that on principle, I don't think, and I'd like to hear your opinion on this. I don't think it's the PD's role to worry about politics. And it's specifically in the space of, and this is what I'd like to understand, and is what is it to the PD how charges are PD, in my opinion, should be worrying about what is and isn't in an umbrella, unless fundamentally they believe that those things can change behavior from a law enforcement perspective. I do think that there is a bit of a, not necessarily, this isn't Turner, but with law enforcement day to day, everyday law enforcement, that the charges that they press on somebody and how big that fine and time is like, they're something they should like it's in their realm. Am I making sense here? I'm like trying to find the best way to...
Here's what I'm going to break this down as, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is my interpretation. What you're saying is that they should be there to enforce it, not to create it.
Correct.
And the reality is, yes, that is a thought, and they also have an opinion and voice because they're technically a citizen of the city as well. And if it impacts their safety, then that's something. But in terms of the politics behind it, and by default right now, you speaking to me is at this moment a member of PD, so keep that in mind, right?
No, absolutely. And that's why I'm sharing it with you, right?
No, I understand. And you could say that I technically shouldn't be involved with it because I'm no longer DOJ. In theory.
No. I think you do, right? And but to be more like precise, right? Law enforcement saying like, we need
what the fuck, Bailey?
The
what
cost
is that?
of someone going to jail should be this amount if they shoot a cop.
Man, just shove that into his
go away
face.
for this amount because of right? But an argument over like if they have arguments that are specific to law enforcement, yes, or arguments that are being made under the basis of actual public safety, then yes. But of what I have heard from them is we need to be able to charge so much, and we can't have these umbrellas because there's too many class 2s on the street. That I think is a personal opinion, but the law enforcement is that should be coming from the people. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important to find where those distinctions are, where it begins or where it ends, and where those opinions are being represented from. Because law enforcement is, while they are, citizens, right? They also are not they're not exactly spending their days protecting actual people either. And if the people feel more damaged by PD, it should be the people that are bringing this up, not them. They're not spokespeople for the general public. You get what I'm saying?
I understand, yes. And as part of such, it should be the enforcement of and making sure their priority are obviously the people's side to it. Yeah. And when you start intermixing politics into things, it becomes a very slippery game for those that enforce it versus those that create it as well. And I do think that there should be a hand-in-hand conversation with most of those individuals, at least, but a very
Agreed.
selected few, and those that are selected for should be those that do have the best interest to represent that. And
Absolutely.
as such, I don't think, for example, it should be on one person independently. I don't think it should be on multiple. Whether that is something else, I don't know. But reality is, you bring the Class 2 part to this, the whole umbrella charge, the umbrella charge itself is less than actual possession of Class 2. Not that I need to go into that, that's a topic of another conversation. But those things need to be appropriately done. Those advocacy things need to happen as well.
That I agree too. Like the existing time and fine is less of a concern as opposed to the clarity. And then the revisiting of what that time and fine could look at is something that can be considered.
Right.
It would still need to make sense. Anyways,
All
Bailey,
right.
I
Yes.
appreciate it. Thank you.
You take care. Politics, man. Politics. These are all theories, by the way. These are all theoreticals. These are all things that could exist, should exist, potentially exist. Who knows if they're going to exist, but guess what? There's going to be another mayor, most likely in about, like, what, 4 weeks? Something like that. So this conversation could change entirely and mean jack unless something actually gets put into play. So the reality is all these things need to happen. They need to happen very quick if they're going to do that. And they actually need to be impactful. Because if they're not impactful, then guess what? Hello there.
Morning, Mr. Bailey.
Yeah, hi. Causes no problems whatsoever. A lot of the theory behind these things becomes a server balance, and I hate that word. I hate those things, but what you're seeing is a result of people originally having money, people not having money, people that come into the city don't have things. For example, there is something proposed on the website that is, if you want to be a lumberjack, you need to pay a $10,000 fee to be a lumberjack up in Blaine County. Brother, unless someone really needs lumber right now, ain't nobody paying $10,000 to be a lumberjack. You need baseline jobs. You need things that are actually able to jumpstart people into things and be accessible, so that those that have already made their way through the progression scale, have their fucking $1 million cars and can afford Class 2s, isn't going to impact the people that are on their starting. And so it is a really awkward conversation at times to have server balance type conversations with people, because there isn't a way yet that I have seen that has been proposed in a fashion that represents it positively. Joe Schmo that creates a character that gets invited to a group, and it's like one of their first things they do with this bank truck, but they got no assets, they got nothing, but they're with this group, is going to royally get screwed with all the possession things that they have, and they're going to have absolutely nothing from day one. Now, you can say, should Joe Schmo be going on those things? Probably not. Was TJ, who was brought into BBMC, who had $40,000 to his name, no car, and whatever, should he have been brought into a meth run? Probably not. Right? So you have to take those levels of things and say, guess what? Regardless of what is happening, people are still have access to those. And there is no, like, you need to be a certain reputation. And I hate reputation because reputation is a grind, and that is a fucked system I don't even want to get into, to be able to do those things, right? And so it's like, okay, who's played Schedule 1 so far? Has anyone played Schedule 1 in this chat? If you've played Schedule 1,
and you go into someone else's save game, guess what? You have access to cocaine the first fucking day that you're there, and you have no idea what the fuck you are doing in Schedule 1, and that's exactly what I did when I started playing in Iceman's or Turner, whatever you want to say, his game. I walked in, I had access to all the strains, I had all that other shit, and I'm like, yo, I got cocaine already. I'm like, bro, we got cocaine, you know? And so I started my own game, and I had to understand all the systems that actually came into it to understand how the game operates to even get to that point, right? And so that's the same thing, the same problem that is essentially happening now, is that you're getting people joining a game that has access to cocaine, but they're fucking themselves over because they don't have anything else, right? And so you balance those with people that have been here forever, that have $4, $5, $6 million in the bank and have whatever, and that can't afford it, versus those that can't afford it. And so it hinders the progress of those that are trying to do it. But at the same time, the progress of those doing it is already fucked because it's a grind to begin with and no one wants to do it. It's the same thing as to why I will not create another character until 4.0 is done and try to actually main something as a group per se, or be a part of a group, because there is no way in hell do I want to restart that. So it becomes someone needs, and I'm hoping with 5.0 that they actually do have someone that looks at the economy of things as an actual thing, and not like just as a here it is, but an actual sort of, I don't want to say DM of way that understands what the pure systems of the economy are, that understands where people are, well, it understands and maybe uses groups' bank account information to understand where they're at with things, right? Because what needs to not happen is this negative account balance where people are just millions of dollars into debt. So for further context, there was this legislation that was proposed that I shot down that said, okay, here's this legislation that if you are in debt, the state can go ahead and repossess your shit. Well, they've already been charged for all their crimes, so it's not the state's debt, it's the bank's debt. The bank, as Nino has alluded to, is basically insurance backed, and they have all this shit. They're incurring such a debt at this point that theoretically, if someone ever played the bank, right, they would have probably at this point, I'm guessing maybe close to $1 billion worth of shit to collect on, between those that have been robbed, between those that have been paid out, and those that have negative account balances and all that other shit, right? But no one plays that bank, and that bank becomes a theoretical black hole that everything just gets thrown into and just called a day. But reality, that started to become debtor's jail, which people hated. And so you have to go this back and forth, and you say, how do you do that? You don't right now. And that needs to be a point of contest in going forward, in how systems are designed to things that you can and can't do. And that's a much larger conversation. That's a much deeper conversation. That is a entire design conversation that is not going to be solved today. That is not something I can put a legislation in and be like, yep, solve that problem. Because if I could put something together for that sort of legislation that cured all that shit, fuck, I might as well run for like an actual position IRL, right? Because I'm not smart enough to do that. I am not, right? I don't know that well enough, and that is like some fucking big brain type shit that is well above my pay grade, and I can guarantee you probably no one else really on the server is going to be able to do that. So, yeah, those are really interesting conversations. I think the conversation went pretty decent. I didn't try to throw Turner for example, and not under the bus per se. I tried to protect what he told me in confidence, or told Bailey in confidence, and tried to just gain perspective. I didn't try to say Turner said all that often. It was just mainly in conversation. So we tried to, as I rolled out of 20, how badly would he kind of fuck that up? He didn't. So I think the conversation went well. Whether that goes one way or another, that really is perception as to things they want to push, but that's also continuance as to what they want to do. And guess what? I'm just an advisor to PD at this point. That's it. Bailey is just a PD advisor. Okay? He just wanted to understand, and he wanted to get further information, because the person that had hired them that said, hey, are you able to look into this more? And that was the entirety of it. So, being an advisor, that was his role to do that. And so he is, right? And so he wants to understand what the perception is, what he's advocating for, and what may or may not change how philosophy of things happen. I enjoy those conversations. I do. I think when they lead or people cannot have those conversations in a way where people feel like they're being attacked, that's when we start to get into some problems. And so it's being able to have those conversations and be respectful of all parties. And yeah, I thought we were getting ocean dumped. I was like, there's not anything Bailey has done to get ocean dumped, but you know what? If he's getting ocean dumped, fuck it, I'm for it. Let the RP. I will accept a Bailey ocean dump at this point. I had no idea that that man actually does like fucking boat ride conversations. I thought about at one point having like a timer and saying, how long do you want to have a conversation? And then timing Bailey's walk around this block and saying, okay, you want to have a 5-minute? Well, let's talk instead of looking into an office and just sitting in an office. This loop takes 5 minutes. This loop takes 10 minutes. I've thought about that before. So it's smart that he's saying or doing, not smart, but just different. Instead of sitting on a fucking bench, he's now going around the entire island. I think we looped island 3 times. Wait. Yo, someone just get oceaned up? Did he just ocean up someone? Bro. Yo, Nino, did you just ocean up someone? Bro, who reported that shit? The fucking whales, man? That's funny. Takes Bailey by a lighthouse, has a fucking aneurysm because he doesn't want to be there. Well, he doesn't really know anything about the lighthouse. He doesn't particularly care about it, so that's not really his prerogative. He doesn't believe in supernatural shit. He thinks everyone's fucking insane and crazy for about it. He thinks that if someone gets sick, it's bullshit. That's no different from any other disease, right? So, that's his view on that shit. Same like Nino. I mean, it's a way for me to differentiate 2 different characters. I try to play them completely separate. I don't try to have one bleed into the other. I want them to be very much different. That is why I also created them. While they are related, they are hated for each other because they are opposites. So, while one exists, the other one tries to not exist in the same world. But sometimes those things do cross parallels. And what I mean, like, so when the whole serial assaults and killing thing came up, there was someone that brought it to Bailey's attention. I discussed it with Turner and how things are interpreted, not interpreted, and he's like, I wouldn't even worry about that too much because that person's likely going to be let go. But there's this, how things are focusing and how things are actually evolving is not in a way that should be, that wasn't intended. We wanted things to be living and breathing and adjusting as things are happening. And that is instead charges being retrofit instead of charges are being created in a way that is A, following a process that's not happening. B, it's not being done to actually adjust or account for what is happening around the city. It should be a living, breathing city where if something happens, guess what? You can create a charge for it and it actually fits what is happening. You announce it and you say, all right, cool. This is what's happening and we're now reacting to the things around us. Instead of saying, we have this penal code. Guess what? It hasn't changed. Or some things have changed but hasn't been discussed. It should be done in a manner that is discussed, that people understand it. It should be presented in a way as to why these are problems. It should be presented in a way that is following a procedure. So, you know, shit happens. Milton Month Guy's car show. Huh. Well, I don't blame them for being inactive because they're also a target, and there's only so much people can take before and being a target before they decide to leave or decide to no longer show up. In my case, I was done having heated arguments or conversations that just were not collaborative in nature, which was supposed to be the entire intent of this system. So it wasn't like I was forced out. I chose to leave. I said this is not what I signed up to do, and I decided to leave because of it. That nature has been lost, I think, over time. And part of me probably shouldn't have left as early as I could, but there's only so much I could take at the time that was given, and I didn't have time to also do my IRL job and do both at the same time. So anyway, yeah, we still get asked every day that I have these conversations when you're going back, and I don't know, you know? So anyway, only do what makes me happy. I enjoy having debates. I enjoy having philosophy type things. I enjoy getting different perspective on things. Those are all things I do enjoy. I don't care about money. I don't care about buying things. That is not my prerogative on any character, right? I don't really give a shit. Curiously, if I would go on TJ and be like, oh, hey, how much money have I made? No one gives a shit. I don't really care. I rather care about furthering a story more than anything else. Oh. Am I flipping out of something? What is he standing on? Oh, apparently the air. Okay. Ghosty boy. Yep. I should probably make him invisible since Nino's doing his shit. Not invisible, but like ghosty. Chat, give me a second. I need to actually grab water. My voice kind of feels a little raspy right now, so give me 1 sec. TJ, your pixel prince. Give me 1 second. While I'm grabbing water, behave. Don't do anything stupid. All right. Chances are I probably won't have too much of a conversation with people today, but I can possibly discuss with you what has been going on a little bit and go that way. All right. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Okay. Yo, get that fire shit out of here. All right. So let me do this real quick. Yes, chat. Here's the menu. I can use this now. Thank you, Coil. You're not aware? Yes, I did get an actual menu. Are you jump scaring? I don't know if I want to jump scare anyone right now. Not on stream. Not on stream. Okay. So, Bailey stuff aside. I'll yap as CJ for a little bit, give you some perspective on things. So. Shang's house, woke up one day, didn't have keys there. There's only really two things that happened. I was like, okay, whatever the fuck happened, happened. Cool. Left in the notebook, key in the thing. Yep, kicked out. Got it. No idea. TJ doesn't have any idea of their relationship in character. Not gonna pretend to. You invite someone to live at your house, you know, you gotta understand they're probably gonna potentially bring people around if they need to, but apparently I was just, as TJ, supposed to be a prisoner, as the same thing that was supposed to be apparently at the mansion, and the Tessa conversation, which actually kind of unfortunately was super sad and slightly broke me IRL a little bit, just hearing what was happening. I felt super bad about it. Found Hope yet? No. I know what happened to Hope out of character. I'm not doing anything to... I was told as it was happening, so I'm making it my prerogative to not deal with that storyline and letting someone else deal with it. So I already know out of character what happened because I was told as it was happening. I asked, would I know this? And they said, no, not right now. So I am electing to remove myself from that storyline. So I am not going to, I'm not pushing that. I already know what happened. I already know what's happening. My character does not, and I'm not going to push it because of what I know out of character with it. So, no. So breaking down, no reaction to TJ? No. Nope. Breaking down the Tessa conversation. So there's like some, TJ not want to eat fried bird. Yes, I know Hope is in purgatory. Yes, I know Hope is fucked right now. TJ doesn't know that. I'm not trying to RP that right now. It's not because he doesn't care. It's because he wants someone else to lead that story or be part of that story. It's not his story. I don't want to interfere with it, right? So, the house, and if you kind of pick up on this, is in a way that Tessa conversation with TJ is, and you can interpret this one way or another, is that she wants to know where TJ is at because she wants to assume that he's a prisoner to that house, like, basically, which is the same thing that apparently I can't have friends or people to discuss with at Shang's house. So both of them, while being welcoming in a sense, have both sought in a way to keep him there. A place to stay, which again is like a prison. Can't have people in, or in that case, I want to know that you are here. Right? So you look at it from both perspectives. One wants to know you're there, which is monitoring, or that they're safe because you're there and they could be anywhere else that you're not. Or this one, you can't have anyone in, so house arrest basically type shit. Bustin' for real, no one in. Right? So both of them, in a way, wants him to be kind of prisoner to it. And I'm not trying to be fucking prisoner at this point. If TD doesn't know some, don't put meta in chat. I mean, like I said, I already know what happens. Out of character. I knew the moment I literally left Purgatory Islands. I knew. Out of character. Okay, well, we'll go with that. The moment we left here and got to here, I already knew. All right, that's the point where me, out of character, already knew, and I'll have elected to not do anything with it because I don't want to do that. Okay. So, anyway, the second part to this, the Barry Gone Missing arc. Obviously, I was asked if I can to facilitate that a little bit, and I will. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to do anything. I would rather ADMC do the ADMC thing and find him. Once again, this is not TJ's story to tell. I am helping facilitate that story. Okay? It was asked, hey, can you get this to Ziggy Bugs? Yeah, I can. I'm going to. Okay? That starts the rest of it. I'm going to facilitate what I can. That's what I'm here for. I will facilitate mostly RP. And so as such, even our own. I've started, I'm not sure if anyone really caught on to this in the talk. If you look, there's a Dark and TJ conversation as to watches and what they mean. I've started like leaving things for people to find with a specific context of how that watch operates. And I don't think anyone has found them yet, but they're left for very specific things. And this is, as a result, like, in a way, the Ring story is kind of dead. I'm just going to be flat out, right? Enough time has passed. This Ring story is kind of dead that we're at the point where we're making some side arcs with things, and we're trying to, for those that have been involved, as a way to keep them going and keep it feel like in a way that there is a purpose to still somewhat continue some of this stuff and give a meaning to what was happened. So a bunch of us are kind of just like, okay, whenever that arc kind of gets back up again, we'll do it. Like, that's cool. But at the same time, we went through all this stuff, so we might as well try to create some side stuff that we can. So we've been brainstorming different things. If RP goes that way, it goes that way. Not that we're trying to, once again, we're not scripting things. We're just saying, okay, what can we do to continue in a way that makes logical sense instead of going back? It's very similar to what we did at Sanguine, right? We did all this shit for Sanguine. We got out of prison and we spent 30 days there. You're so removed from anything around you that going back to boosting feels weird, right? So how do you as a character go back to that point? And so we've been trying to create some situations and scenarios that either it gets eased back in and one kind of drops to the wayside, or we keep it going long enough that eventually that comes back around, right? So that is insert some of the watch stuff. So maybe some of you picked up on as well. TJ will remember Ed's name, but he doesn't remember anything about him. Okay? He remembers what he looks like, but there's also something associated with it that has a watch symbolism to it that, should he find at some point, maybe he can put together. Please don't give that to him. Please don't leak that to him. Please don't put that as a clip. There's something I have left for Ed the character as a potential way for that to go, right? There is something else where, should things happen, should I need to take TJ into a dark evil route again, and become a bad person that then has someone get rid of him, there's ways that I can incorporate different beings to watches again. There's a way in thought that maybe if I start giving someone a watch that ticks down to a certain time, that means their time is up. Okay? It is ways, and this is a possibility, right? This is a way for us to continue or to put an end to a story where a few of us just want to possibly get to an end to it at some point and I'm prepared to do either way that I need to. If he needs to become the bad guy, someone else, so there is a closure to this story and he is gone, then I will do that, right? So I have been thinking a lot of different ways, whether, yes, maybe Purgatory has affected him in a way that he is now evil, that he feels like because things are happening, he now has to take it out on people around him. I've thought about many different ways how to put this to an ending in a way where people are satisfied, and I'm even satisfied with my own character. So I do have an end in mind. It's just, how does the RPRP? You know, how do we actually get out of it? So, it's just ways to consider those things as an option, because there's only so much I can do, and there's only so much I can fight. The other side, where there isn't much of a fight to give, and there isn't much of a thing to do before it becomes like a repetitive thing, right? Before there is no longer something that means anything, and we're creating a narrative that is no longer going to be fulfilled. So it's where do I feel like I'm very much at a crossroads of where to go with him right now, and it can go one of many ways. I was brainstorming with Z, I came up with 8 different possibilities as to where things can go, ranging from something stupidly egregious to very simply something very boring, and there's many different ways on top of that. So who knows? We'll see where things go, but I'm probably at a inflection or transition point very soon as to where we want to go with these and continue in a way to also just give some other people continuance with it. So that's kind of where we're at with it. It's okay to continue and to keep what you have done as a background, as long as it's a background and not a main focus. And we want to do that, right? So as such, you know, Z has been great with a lot of it. And we talk a fair amount about the possibilities of things, what could or couldn't, and we try to make everything lore accurate to what we do. As such, he's given me the free ability. He says, you know, force lore anything you want for the birds, as to what you want to do with those. You know, probably doesn't make the most sense that I force lore the fact that Hope and Noxie let TJ out, but you know, he was okay with it, right? And so we just kind of go with things and we talk about it, and try to keep it lore accurate. And so that's something that we want to do. As such, there have been people that have asked, that have permed their characters to be involved with Purgatory RP. And that is something I'm okay with. It's not my ultimate decision, but they also need to understand, if doing so, that they need to respect what Purgatory is, what the effects it can have as a character. And I think it would be a pretty cool way for those that have given something to a story to actually have some sort of, I don't want to say ending, but some way of continuing per se. Granted, a different population, you know? If people want to do something in there, that's cool. Understand we're not regulating it, but don't particularly have like any expectations as to what that means. But I think it'd be, you know, hey, you gave something for someone else's story. Here's a way that you can continue it in a way that is amongst those that have also. So think of it maybe as a option afterwards. Poor Fred. I know, man. I feel for Fred. I do. I don't know really how to get him out. It's the same with Edgar. Like, TJ was never going to be able to get him out. That is not within TJ's creation or control. That has always been a Norman thing. And that is something I wholeheartedly respect, and want to keep up to that as a character. He made his deal, right? The reality is, the whole TJ and the shackle thing was, I had no idea it was going to be 30 days in purgatory. My reality, my mind, and my thought was that it was going to be, how do we get Norman down there while we're still up there? How do we all get together in the same spot, the same location? How do we create a scene that makes him go down there, then we go down there, and then we do it there, and then we go back up, and then we're done? it wasn't meant to be, in my mind, more than maybe like an hour, right? We go in, we go out, and then the scene happens and we're done. So TJ being trapped down there for an extended period of time, I had no context, no knowledge, no nothing about from an OOC perspective, right? We had set that up well beforehand, and the meta-guarded conversations I had with Alice was my plan to get out should we ever get stuck there. And that's just how it rolled out, and we rolled with it. That's cool. Fred, on his side, he's a consequence to him making a deal with Edgar. Those are completely two separate things. I can't really do much about that, right? That's kind of making your own bed, right? Edgar made his own bed, stayed there for what, 40, 50 days or something like that. Fred made the same deal and got him out, and so it takes a cost. That's not something I can be like, yo, hey, let me ask TJ to pull on the strings and bring Fred out with me. The most I could do was get him out of the cage, right? That's something that we talked about a little bit, Z and I was like, hey, if I theory would use the ass on the cage, would that let him out? And he's like, yeah, sure, all right. Can I bring him with me? He's like, well, that's not really your decision, or like our decision to make with that. So I was like, okay, no worries. Like, I can't bring him along with me. I would have loved to bring Fred with me. Believe me, I would have loved to be like, yo, Fred and I, we're out, we're deuces, peace, goodbye. You know? But that's also not part of the story, right? Because if someone makes a deal, it should be something that has a consequence. If you want Fred out, guess what? You're probably going to have to make a deal for him, or Norman lets him out. I'm not trying to take away from that, right? And TJ's situation, he didn't make a deal. He wasn't down there. He just got sent down there. So I hope TJ resurrects, becomes the PM at the end. Nope. Don't want it. I'm good. I'm good on that one. Do not want. Have you not seen how the club has reacted to TJ? I'm good. I'm good, man. You've had so many mixed reactions. Some want him around. Some don't give a shit. Some will just slam the door in his face. I'm good, man. I'm good. I am done. I will help and assist them, help find Barry and whatever the shit that they want to do with it. That's cool. That's fine. It's still theirs to find him. It's theirs to get together. If they want to talk to TJ about the whole situation, fine. That's on them. He'll give him a perspective, but that's it. I don't want to interfere with the politics shit. Club's on fire. Oh, I know. I know Club's on fire. Believe me. Oh, I knew it was on fire months ago when I asked Shang, do you enjoy your time? He's like, no. Why do you want VP? Because I do. Okay. Well, you might want to fix the enjoyment part before you say you want to get VP, because that shit ripples downwards. And he asked Cora. Cora said in our conversation as well, hey, Cora, do you know what the club values are? Nope. Don't know what they are. Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's been fucked. It's been fucked for a long time. I've known that since before I went from purgatory. I've known that since I got back. Right? He's known it's been fucked. Why do you think he hasn't been sitting there like trying to force it? Because I tried to stay out of that as him. If it needs some sort of conversation or people actually ask, sure. Is there OOC lore why Barry's gone? Yes. Probably. I didn't set it. I don't know the full story of it, but most likely. I'm not going to pretend that I know the full story, but yeah, there'll be lore. If I know anything about Baz, he's going to give it lore. Bill and Gigi making it add another element to it. There you go. If you see this, TJ, you might be a little fucked. Okay? You see that version of TJ, you might be fucked. I'm gonna put it. Anyway, so yeah, I'll answer a few questions if you have them for a bit, or if you want my perspective on things, I will offer it. Outside of that, I'll probably chill here for a bit, but if you have questions, let me know. But I will most likely, I don't probably want to haunt people while on stream, right? It gets awkward because I have to do some admin shit to do it, like using the menu and flying stuff and like finding where people are, and then I hard limit myself. I don't listen to people's conversations. I don't fly next to them and be like, yo, this person's saying shit, and then sit there forever. I hard limit myself on that. I always try to give myself some version of them knowing that I'm there. Pesto's angry. Yeah, he doesn't know why he's angry. He just knows about, apparently, that there was another seal that was carved into someone. He knows Oshira. Apparently, he's pissed off at something. No idea. TJ hasn't talked to Pesto at all. They haven't made contact. But, you know. Why do I want villain TJ now? I love the dark fit. Yeah, well, you know. I have to create ideas for that. If it goes that way. And that's, like I said, that is if it goes that way. I'm not saying that it will. It is a possibility. It is way down the line. But if it needs an ending to a story that makes sense for people, I absolutely don't mind doing it, just so that it gives some people some closure and that stories can wrap up. Ghost watching people as a chicken man thing? Yeah, I don't do that. I don't watch them too much. So, for example, I did the other day. Fine, I'll show you just briefly. Here. So, the other day, well, like Edgar on house arrest, and I'll just do this just for like context. I don't even need to have a conversation, but I showed up on like this roof, and then I teleported to this roof, and then I went over to this roof. I didn't say a thing. I didn't need to say a thing. It was just more or less like, I just want to have a quick conversation, and not conversation. I just want to make a presence known that he's watching, and that's it. No conversation needed. It adds a little bit to it, and that's it. Just see what that he's doing that he remembers that he's there, and there's no further context other than, yep, okay, you're cool, you're done, you're good, you know? So that is, like I said, I do not enjoy trying to listen to conversations. For those of you that know my past, I have had some of my arcs, unfortunately, metagames where I don't like that, and so I will never do that to somebody else. I think a few of you know what that means and what the context was in 3.0, and I'm good. I don't want to ever do that. Okay. Hypothetically, where were you when Theo crashed? Yo, she's not here, is she? Yo, Theo, are you here? Theo! Yo, chat. Don't snitch on me, right? Don't snitch on me, right? You're not gonna snitch, right? No snitching? That was her bike. Theo was laying right there. She hit it. She fell off. She died. So, the next part to that, hold on. This is what I sent to her. She couldn't see me, by the way. She could not see me. So I sent to her doing the L emote right next to her. She couldn't see it, but I was like, yep, I saw that. So, yeah, it's it's just fucking with her. So, anyway. All right. Oh. Yo, okay. An important little thing I took from Dark's conversation. He offered this up pretty quickly. And I was kind of like, huh. Because I hadn't really considered this at some point is... Dark, when I asked him about his time, he said he feels like each second that he lives, one ticks here and one belongs else. Like he is half alive, half dead. I was like, bro, my man just, what? Okay. It was like the first 2 minutes of the conversation. I was like, damn. So for context, I just started doing like this whole watch thing, and I was trying to give him some of the lore as to what my watches were meaning that I was leaving for people with the notes associated with them. And little did I know, he just created his own on the spot. He literally on the spot created and went with the entire intention of what I was doing with the watches, and he gave it a lore of what I was trying to do with them and fed into it. I was like, bro, so good. I couldn't believe he fed right into that immediately. I was like, wow, okay, maybe we got something going here with that. I like that. I really like that. So he offered that up immediately. I was like, that's, he gets it. He gets it. When I asked him, how does his time tick? And he goes, it feels like it's not my own, or it's slower in that it goes one here, one there. I was like, damn. The next thought, yo, is Dark famine? That's the next thought that I had. I was like, bro. Huh. Okay. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure that the conversation felt meaningful, right? I don't mind oversharing as TJ. You can call him a yapper. You can call him like a fucking snitch. You can call him whatever you want. I don't care. And Peppo does the same thing. I fucking love him for doing this. And this is why I think I really appreciate his RP. And I think people underappreciate some of the quote unquote snitching. It's not snitching in a way. It's continuing a story. When you let out information, even if it's subtle, even if it is like a bombshell, it gives someone else a fucking avenue to work off of. And as long as you have that avenue, it gives someone to go, someplace to go. And why I referenced the BoneCon in the conversation, because BoneCon went nowhere because no one wanted to spread any information whatsoever. No one wanted to talk about their deals. No one wanted to say anything about it. So why would TJ give Dark the information about Oshira? Because it's a way to continue the arc for somebody else. It's a way to direct them in another side conversation. Why did I give Alice's name to Dark? Because it's a way... I don't care. She can be pissed all she wants. I don't give a shit. It's a way for the story to continue. If she feels a certain way for it, great. That's fine. I don't care. It's a way for the story to progress. As long as that's kept in mind and you're trying to allow individuals a way forward, I don't care if I let things out that should be slightly secret or not. Okay? In being a DM for TTRPGs, I do this a lot where I build a framework for a plotline and put it in front of others and see what they come up with, and their ideas are cool, make it canon. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. 100%. Literally, Dark did that in front of me, and I was only starting to do that thing like 2 days ago. Right? Here. No, I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show it because someone is going to tell someone, and I don't want that to happen. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to meta it. I'm not going to put it where it's at, but yeah. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to set things up where side stories can continue, even if it's not my own, while we're waiting for things to happen or things to develop, or whether the whole ring defeating death even comes back into it at any point in time. I'm just trying to create something for other people right now. That's my entire purpose, right? So call him a yapper, call him a snitcher, call him an op. I don't care. It's a way for the conversation to continue. So, wait for TJ. Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? I saw this earlier. And I'll see what the note said. I didn't actually get to read it. I'll do it now for you all. I think this is their house, right? Hopefully no one's in here. Is anyone in here? Please tell me no one's in here. No one's in here, right? If someone's in here, I leave. So she had a scene here earlier today where it was Rue sleeping here with a note, and then unfortunately there are people here, so I left it, and I didn't want to impede on their conversation, but I didn't want to. This was her journal, right? I gave it back to her. I wrote a note with it. I don't know if this is mine, but I think she wrote a note as well. And let me see what it says. Go to page 3. Oh, okay. Never mind. That's the same note I gave her. So she moved it. She got it. Cool. Then I will put that back. Oh, wait. No, there's another note. The fuck is this? This is where I left the original one. Did she leave me one? Oh, she did. That's nice. Page 3. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I spell periodically correct? Is that how I spell periodically? I can't fact check my actual spelling right now. Did I spell incorrectly? Periodically. I spell it correctly? Okay. Yeah. Alright. Wait. Hold on. Shit. Copy page. It's that one, and I'll put that back. Place that here. Put something like that. Or not new note. Just a way for them to understand that he wrote on it. They would see that there's additional text on the page. Okay. And then we leave here. We leave. We go goodbye. And clearly handed by Ghost. All right, chat. There's nothing too much more. I think I'm probably gonna grab some food here. I have ignored most of that today. I have not eaten, so unless there's something else that you guys have a burning question to ask, I will be happy to answer. If not, I look forward to trying to create some stuff for other people, and I thank the people that have allowed us to do this arc. in a way where we can give back to some people. That's different. So has been fun. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the Bailey stuff. A little different as well. When I'm making Saab jump as a payback, if I find Saab by himself, I will. He's got me twice with it, and I at least owe him one. So I owe Saab one time, and I will try to get it. But I need to find him by himself. If I can find him by himself, you best damn bet I will get him. Okay? I don't mind doing stupid, crazy, wacky shit, but as long as it doesn't break people's immersion, right? I think I'm good. That's not my intention, you know? We're just chilling. So, once again, thank you all for the follows. Thank you all for the gift subs. Make sure if you got a gifted sub today, there's quite a few of y'all that gifted subs today. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much, Spanner, Simply. Those that resubbed as well. Angel, thank you for the gifted sub as well. Really do appreciate those. Thank you. Make sure, once again, you thank the individual that gave you a gifted sub. If you're interested, our Discord is discord.gg/DocWizard. If you are also interested, it's just DocWizard_ on Twitter. Thank you, thank you. You'll see me probably pop up in some people's things in the background. But yeah. Thank you, thank you.
It's all about humanity.
TJ out, yo.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hey, calm down with the old man shit.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.